Yo, guys, what's going on? We are live early. We got a really special guest. We got Eric, the Asian Movie Enthusiast, one of, I think, Brian and I's favorite YouTubers.
Always.
Thank you.
I've been watching you for years, and yeah, you've been great. You've helped me find a lot of great films. So
Nice. Thank you.
so
It's great to be here.
Before we begin into our main topic, which is Tale of Two Sisters, what have you guys been watching this week? And Eric, since you're the guest, you'll go first.
Well, I actually got some stuff in the mail. I kind of know your format, so I brought some little physical media.
Awesome.
These are just the pickups I had. So I'm going to watch, before October starts, I got to watch the Blu-ray of Predator that I just picked up.
Is that the new one or is that the original?
I think this is probably an older Blue, but I've never seen it on Blu-ray. I've always seen it on TV or DVD, so I'm kind of looking forward to it on Blu-ray. And then I got from Hong Kong the Magic Crystal Blu-ray, which is a real crazy, like Andy Lau, Cynthia Rothrock movie.
Now, is that a certain label? Because I've seen the yellow cases a lot.
Yeah, they kind of slide out like that, which is kind of neat.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It says Panorama Corporation, but I don't know what the specific label is.
There's a cutout on the front for the Blu-ray logo. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That is cool, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, these have been I've been seeing more of these on. Sometimes I'll buy them from dddhouse.com, which is like a legit Hong Kong shipping place.
DDD House. I need to write that down.
Yeah, it's good if you want Hong Kong stuff. Evil Dead Trap.
Nice.
New from Unearthed.
One that I haven't seen, a Thai horror film called The Maid.
The Maid, yeah, from Dread Pictures.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And then finally, I'm going to have to double dip. I got a Japanese Region 2 unsubtitled release, but this movie's actually going to get a release next month. It's Mimicry Freaks. It's a Japanese horror flick.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool, though. I've seen this one.
Who else is putting that out next month?
It's like a real odd label. It's like Bayview or something, Entertainment. I've never even heard of them really before.
Ryan, did you get any pickups?
I do. I don't have them by me. The main thing is I got I finally got a 4K of Dune in from Arrow, and then I got the latest oscilloscope release, which is an interesting one, but it's not over here, so it's not compelling television. I got the vinyl re-release for Romero's Day of the Dead from Waxwork Records, which
nice.
I was stoked to see they put that out again. Yeah, I think that was pretty much it. It was a pretty light week. Nice and slow.
I had to run and go get mine. Sorry.
That's all right.
I should have done that as well.
Now that my movie room is not in here anymore, it's I forgot that they're out in the living room because usually I put them in here. But I got Orbit DVD. Ryan and I have talked about them. They're my favorite site to just go to and be like, what Region B stuff do I not have, and just like go through their catalog, because it seems like not a lot of people know about them yet because they have stuff that should be out of print that's still in stock there.
Yep.
And they're cheap. So I rounded out my collection. I'm nearing almost 100% for Eureka and 88 Jackie Chan titles. Got Wheels on Meals, which surprised I didn't have because I've said this before, I'm not the biggest Jackie Chan fan, but I love this movie, mostly for Sammo Hung. As a fat guy, I love Sammo Hung. Then I picked up the Tough Ones, the 88 release. Very similar to their Violent Professionals release. The artwork's great, nice hard case. And then something that I love, I don't know how you feel, Eric, about Western movies, but Django collection. This is 6 movies. A couple of them have been released elsewhere. Like I think Hanging for Django is that Raro, Ryan?
I believe so. I believe that's the only Django title Raro has.
So yeah, so there's 6 movies: A Man Called Django, Django the Runner, Hanging for Django, Django: A Bullet for You, Return, and Pistol for Django. The thing is, Django was the first Italian movie with, if you account inflation and everything, it made $600 million at the box office when it came out.
Dang.
So it was a massive smash hit. And then from that point on, any movie that would release in certain territories, they just slapped Django on the title. So I think Germany had the most. So like Massacre Time, like which we just got from Arrow this year, that came out in Germany as a Django title. So it's pretty funny because the characters aren't named Django a lot of the times. They're just not. They're just Django in the credits for like that region. But I'm gonna have a much bigger haul next week because after I put in this order with Orbit, I bought all the Van Damme releases from '88 minus 2. I'm missing Street Fighter, which I don't know if I'm gonna jump on that movie. That movie's terrible.
I like
Limited
that
to that Street Fighter though, that went out of stock so fast.
It's back in stock at Orbit.
Not the limited edition. The standard edition is.
The one with the slipcovers is in stock at Orbit.
They released a standard with a slipcover because there was so much demand.
Really? For that movie?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm missing that one, and what's the other? There's one more I'm missing, but I forget. But anyways, I ordered that, and then I ordered a lot more from Orbit, and they're the best. They freaking rock. So.
And free shipping if you buy at least 3 things.
Yeah, well, I paid out the ass for the shipping because it was like too many things. Raul Julia played his role fantastic as the villain of Bison. Yeah, he had cancer during that, right?
Yeah.
During that time, yeah.
That sucks. Because I mean I don't like the movie, but it was fun as a kid to go back and look how goofy that was. Like as a kid, you're like, oh my god, that's like Ryu and that's Bison. I think they put too many characters in that movie. It's like the entire roster is in that film. But did you guys watch anything of noteworthy this past week besides our topic tonight?
Let me look at my list. I lose track of which week. I'll open up my Word doc, my tracking list.
For anybody that is not subscribed, please subscribe to Asian Movie Enthusiast. He put a review up of The Warrior tonight that I cannot wait to watch tomorrow morning while I work.
Do you have that one in your collection?
Of course.
Yeah, it's the Mondo released some good Indonesian stuff.
They really do.
I saw, let's see here. Oh, I saw Kate recently. I actually kind of liked that movie. I liked that movie.
Loved it a lot.
Yeah, Bandmaid made a cameo. If anybody doesn't listen to Bandmaid, listen to them. They're awesome.
They are pretty damn awesome. I was really surprised by how negative the reviews were for that movie.
Yeah.
Because it's a solid action movie, and I think Mary Elizabeth Winstead nailed it. And then even the annoying side, like the sidekick character, she was good.
Yeah.
Her puns were funny, actually. And
I also
in the club's good.
I also watched Tumbling Doll of Flesh again. Just for you guys. Now that one, I'm just going to tell you, I saw it years ago and I gave it a real low rating, but I watched it again and I can understand what they're going for in that movie, but it's most people are not going to like it, man.
I should, so back in the day when we had employees at the restaurant still, my favorite thing is to grab a movie like Itchy the Killer or Ricky O and make them sit down. Like we'd have like pizza and we'd chill out and watch a movie. And every time they'd be like, what the fuck is this? And I tried to up the ante every time. So I think once people start coming back, I'm going to play Tumbling Doll of Flesh for them. And good thing we don't have a freaking HR department.
No, one warning. There is actual adult entertainment in the film.
Oh.
Censored, but it's in there.
On top of all this crazy stuff that's in that movie, there's just sex. That's kind of a weird...
Yeah. Just warning you.
Is it sexy or is it like... Ugh?
No, not really.
Flip, it's in a movie called Tumbling Doll of Flesh.
I guess that's true. I watched Secret of the Urn by Hideo Gosho. I don't know if you've seen that, but that's a solid little pulpy samurai flick.
I remember enjoying it.
the character gets his arm and his eye cut, so he has no arm and he doesn't have an eye. So they double down on the one, like the character with one thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Flip, can we make sure that we highlight Zero's comment to you there real quick, please?
God damn it. Yeah, it's bad, man. I know. It's the freaking WAP genes. I'm losing my hair.
I watched one this weekend in theaters that I would love to get Eric's thought on, because I don't know that I've heard him talk about it yet. But I went and watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Have you seen it yet?
No, I have not.
Wow. So I'm honestly thoroughly impressed. Like I was most people getting very tired of the Marvel slate, and the Asian influences are worn, dare I say, kind of properly. Like there's actual martial arts, really nice slow down. I would almost say some of the scenes were very Crouching Tiger.
Hmm.
It is
kind of looked like from the trailer. There was like a scene in a forest, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I
that
was
is
really hoping they would go that route.
that one scene is beautiful to watch. It is so well done. But there are two fight scenes primarily. One in a bus in the beginning. That and what was the other movie? Two big bus scenes this year. That was Nobody was the other one. Yeah, yeah, great ones this year. But yeah, the fight in the bus, and then there's a scaffolding fight outside of like a casino type place that is done so well, and it's just not something that you've seen in any Marvel movie. And the fact that this many people will see something that is that Asian tinged, I'm just excited for.
Well, I was really pumped when I think they made 90 million in this first week, which was like higher than what they were thinking. You know, I knew Panther came out and it did really well, but it came out before COVID, and there's a lot of Asian hate going on right now. So a movie that is, like you said, so steeped in not just Asian mythology, but like especially Chinese mythology.
Oh yeah.
It's really awesome to see him do extremely well, because I really like all the actors in that movie. Awkwafina's great. Tony Leung, of course, which I think it's funny that people are like discovering who Tony Leung is, and they're like, this guy's awesome. Like, you have 30 years of just films to go watch now because he's amazing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really happy for the guy who plays Shang, because he
did great.
Someone posts stuff from his Facebook before he got signed on to Marvel, and he's like, let's make a Shang-Chi movie. Let's make a Shang-Chi movie. And then he posts stuff like, my mom and dad still aren't proud of me. Yeah. Just he has a really good sense of humor. He seems like a good guy. So I'm happy for that dude. I want to highlight this. I want to see Cop Shop so bad.
It looks good.
It looks like my type of my type of conservative film that I've been going through a little bit of a phase watching, like S. Craig Zoller films. They're so ridiculous. They're just, I don't know. But yeah, do you guys want to talk about Tale of Two Sisters?
Absolutely.
Sure.
So this movie is bad. No, I'm just kidding. It's really good. Eric, since you were probably more knowledgeable on the director, I think you said it's one of your favorite directors, right?
Yeah. He needs to come back a little bit, because his last film was not as impressive as all of his other films before it. He made a film based on the Wolf Brigade, the anime.
Oh yeah,
and it was the live action. That one was disappointing. But yeah, I think A Tale of Two Sisters is his best film. But he's done some good comedies in his early days. The Quiet Family I really like. A Bittersweet Life is a really good gangster flick. The Good, the Bad, the Weird is really good. And I Saw the Devil is quite thrilling. Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this guy, but he's got to make a comeback after the Wolf Brigade, in my opinion.
So how was his American movie, The Last Stand with Arnold?
I thought it was watchable. I didn't think it was terrible. It was his weakest film before Wolf Brigade.
I find it interesting whenever these Asian directors, no matter where they're from, when they make a jump to the States, their style doesn't translate well into a Hollywood sensibility. And I don't know why that is. Because I think he's amazing. But I saw the Last Stand trailer and I was like, I don't know, Johnny Knoxville's in this and he's like an idiot, and I know. But this film, A Tale of Two Sisters, came out in 2003, and Arrow recently just put it out for Region B. And this was my second time watching. My first time, my wife watched it, and my first time in years. My wife loved it. She was a little confused because it is a little twisty turny. And me and Ryan were talking about this last night. He had to explain a few things to me because even I was like, what's going on? Who's this? But right away, the movie is just directed amazingly. Like every shot, especially that scene where she's coming down the staircase and it's just that one long shot. I thought that was so well done. But before we get into too many spoilers, is there a specific scene that you two were like, oh God?
A scene where I was like, oh God, that's a very specific feeling.
So I can give you mine just to give you like a example.
Okay.
Spoilers for this movie.
Yeah.
Every time the dad is interacting with one of the sisters, the other one is not in frame, and it made it. And for me, it clicked in my brain when they're on the porch and the dad comes out to talk to her, and it like the shot was just her and the dad, and I was like, oh, that's what's going on. But then it also kind of misleads you because the stepmom says girls multiple times. So you're like, okay, maybe I'm crazy. And I think the movie does a good job of making the viewer think that they're nuts. Because I thought that's exactly what was going to happen. I was like, the sister's dead. And then I was like, wait, no, the sister's not dead because the stepmom is interacting with her. And then the final twist, I was like, oh shit. So it really started with the scene on the porch when the dad goes to talk to her. I was like, oh God, that's what's going to happen.
For me, my big one, which I had to tell Flip about, is after the period scene, and they showed her waking up and discovering the blood. And I had to point out to him, the only reason I caught it so early is because when they went and did all the laundry, they showed the clothesline, and there was only one nightgown on it, not two.
That little detail blew me away. When you said that, I was like, oh no. I was like, that's so awesome to hear stuff like that. So Eric, what's yours?
Yeah, I didn't even catch the first twist the first time I saw this. Probably because, like you said, I was thinking to myself, the stepmother's interacting with her. But I would say, man, one big aha moment. I mean, it's got to be the rotation scene when the stepmother finally arrives at the house at the end of the film.
Yeah,
and it just rotates around, and you get that next twist. That was the scene that kind of blew my mind.
It was filmed so well. That was my favorite scene of the entire movie right there.
Usually you'd be able to tell the effect, but it was done so well. I was like, man, they must have really. I couldn't really figure out exactly. It wasn't obvious like how exactly they did that.
That's the scene that made me go, wow, this is a film that is greatly directed, because any other director, I feel like, would have probably flopped that scene, because that scene
absolutely
is very well done to the point where I had to like go back and just be like, wow, like I had to like rewind a few seconds to see it again.
That's the type of scene that in a movie like this, it kind of makes it live or die, and it clearly was a winner.
And it's just stuff like just like you said, like when you brought up the clothesline, I remember saying, "Oh, Tay, wouldn't life be simple that?" And I remember just like looking and being like, "Wow, the pajamas and the bed sheets," but I wasn't like pajamas. You know what I mean? I just was like, "Oh, there's only one." It's very, very peculiar. And by the way, guys, there will be spoilers, heavy spoilers, even though there already was. This movie is almost 20 years old at this point. So
yeah, actually, astute viewers might actually be able to predict at the very beginning. First, if they're really perceptive, they're right at the beginning when the psychiatrist is asking her about that day, because that's a red flag right off the start. It's an unreliable perspective.
That's true.
Start.
The only thing that I was actually going to ask this in one of our talking points is, when is that scene? because theoretically that could be about all of the it could be about the deaths, but it could also be after all of this has happened and she's back reinstitutionalized.
Right. That's true.
Because she goes back to the institution at the end, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be all. This could be a flashback.
Yep.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is what's up. So one of the things I didn't understand is that I knew the daughter and the mom died. Who was in the bags, and what was that representing? That there was bodies in the bag and she was beating them.
Right. I think at that point, because her little sister was outed as a ghost, it reverted to like that type of representation of her, where she didn't interact with her anymore, like as a human-like entity.
That scene was so heartbreaking when it's revealed, because the girl who plays the ghost, Sunmi, I think is her name,
Suyeon or whatever.
She looks like she's having a breakdown. Like she can't believe what's happening, and like she doesn't know.
Sumi is the older sister. Suyeon is the younger one. Yeah.
So who was the lady on the floor crawling and then crawls on the bed? Is that the mom?
Mm-hmm.
Because the neck is all messed up?
Because her neck was messed up. That's because she hung herself in the wardrobe. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, I don't ever want one of those. This movie made me steer clear away. Like Taylor was eyeing one, and I was like,
I've actually heard real life stories of children passing away due to wardrobe falls, so it's kind of a dangerous thing. A lot of people don't know about.
Which also, by the way, when the wardrobe falls and is it the psychiatrist that's there? Why is she there? Was she a friend? Because she walks into the room and the sister is obviously needs help and she doesn't help her.
She was the nurse from the. I was guessing a nurse or a psychiatrist from the pictures that they showed. That's how they communicated that, because she was in the pictures as the father's colleague.
So was the mom sick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what type of illness? I'm not exactly sure.
Right.
But yeah.
But yeah, that scene was haunting because the hand movements, and like my first movie from this director was I Saw the Devil. I didn't even know he did comedies. So, So Ice is saying he was having an affair with her. This is the one thing I want to say the movie doesn't do well, is explain exactly the relationship between the father and the other older women.
Why does it have to, though? A lot of this movie is up to your imagination and making it worse or better. And I mean, even the institution scene at the very beginning, like I just said, it's all up for interpretation. Is that before she's reinstitutionalized? Is that recalling the deaths of her family members? When is that happening? There's so many. If you put each of those scenarios in terms of that conversation, they all work, and it's just masterfully directed with that in mind.
Also, the final flashback, the nurse was no longer wearing her uniform in the final flashback. So, and they were coming back from like shopping or something, it seemed like. Right. So that to me was maybe she was definitely infusing. I don't know if it was a technical affair or there was something going on there, in my opinion.
Right.
So I says, the father was having an affair with the nurse. So that would explain why the nurse didn't want to help. She was like,
it's a way in.
One less kid to worry about, which is fucked up to say, but yeah, this movie, it didn't creep me out. Like, it's not like a scary movie because there's like one jump scare in the whole movie.
There's 2 or 3, and they're pretty effective in this movie.
The one with the girl underneath the sink was pretty good. That one made me.
Yep.
And like the way they set it up, because when she's looking and it cuts, I thought I saw an outline of somebody, but then again, it could just be the movie playing tricks on you. Yeah. So when that scene replayed, I was like, what the? I was like, oh my God. And I very rarely get like jump scared, but that one got me and Taylor pretty good. She was like, what the fuck? And then I had to go tuck my wife in. Now, how would you rank this, Eric, among this director's works?
It's number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Really?
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah, I was about to say.
My favorite movie, period.
It's your favorite movie of all time?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea that was your favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Man. So, do you have the Arrow release?
Yes, I have it right here.
Now,
Yes.
how are the how are the special features on it? Because I haven't really.
I haven't seen all of the special features, but the ones I listened to the old audio commentary with the director and actresses like 10 years ago. That's pretty good. They have a new audio commentary with Pierce Conran and James Marsh, which is good. That's in English. And I haven't listened to the commentary yet with the cinematographer and cameraman. Uh,
3
but the
commentaries on this disc.
yeah, and the other big ones, because
This
some
is
of
a
these were
loaded disc.
some of these were ported over from the Tartan DVD, and some big ones are the deleted scenes with the director commentary is just phenomenal. There's like 15 deleted scenes, and he talks about each one and why he kept it out of the film. And it's a great decision every single time. If he would have put some of those deleted scenes back in the film, they would have ruined something. So that's another really good special feature that I like.
Now, I told Ryan this last night, but rethinking because I thought about this movie a lot today. After watching it, I was like, man, that was about 20 minutes too long. But then like throughout the day, I was like, no, I think that was perfectly paced. And I think if they would have taken or added anything else, it would have been a little overkill. Now, are any of the scenes that got taken out, are they any good? Like, is there any key one?
I don't think so. It's just they were either superfluous or repetitive. They were over-explanatory, a few of them, or they would ruin the mystery too early in the film. Yeah, so
I also found it really interesting that when they're on the dock, the dead sister has her feet in the water, and the older sister eventually lays out, but she stays in that one spot. And they never, like, whenever the older sister goes to a certain special place, like she goes and gets the pictures and stuff, the sister never leaves the house. She's always like, minus the dock, she's always in the house. Which maybe it's just me overthinking. Is it region free? No, region B. But region free players are dirt cheap now. So, you guys have any final thoughts before we just shoot the shit and talk about?
I'd throw out. I did watch or listen to, I guess, the Always on the Move, the Dynamic Camera in Space as a Master stylist Kim Ji-woo, and a brand new visual essay by Korean cinema historian Pierce Conran, and it was great. Go into, comparing some of the past work from the director. Really good stuff. And then I started to listen to the Kat Ellinger essay that she did. Kat Ellinger is always amazing.
Yeah,
and
she's really good.
Yeah, it is really, really good.
The other thing I'd like to end on is I really like kind of the intimacy of the sisterly relationship in the film. And, like guys and girls, they grow up with different kind of experiences and dilemmas. So as a guy, I find it really kind of interesting to see that portrayed in a film, like this. I just find it
done
interesting.
Very well.
I grew up in a very European family. So me and my cousins, when we would have sleepovers, we would cuddle, or we would like lay in the same bed and not, it's not out of the ordinary or weird for, 2 guys in Sicily to be holding hands. So I clicked with that. And I immediately, like you said, I loved how those two interacted with each other and how one seemed to be a little codependent on the other. And maybe that was due to her being really dead. But yeah, I love that movie. And I think when you find out what the twist is, all the scenes between the stepmom and the dead sister really just break your heart. Because is the ghost even a real thing? Is it a figment of her imagination because she's so traumatized? Or if the ghost is real, that means she's experiencing her sister go into these fits of rage where she's not herself and freaking out on her, which just makes you sad either way.
Yeah. The final shot is so good, man. She walks away from the house and she has no idea. She hesitates for a second, like, I was going to do something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you just know it's just over. It's a brutal ending to the film, but I love it.
And the shots of that house, that's a great thing to point out. The shots of that house are astounding. That house looks amazing from the outside.
It's a beautiful house.
Yeah.
I mean, Taylor goes, man, she goes, I would love to live there. And I'm like, no, that looks creepy as fuck. It's beautiful, but I do not want to live there. It kind of reminded me of the house from the Handmaiden.
Oh, yeah.
There's just something about Korean architecture, like where they kind of like mix Westernized styles with the Eastern Asian styles. It's really cool. But yeah, those houses are they're beautiful, but too much wood. It's too creepy, man. So I have a couple more things. So the dad, I felt really bad for. He seemed very just down all the time throughout the whole movie, which we find out why. So does that mean he was when he was getting in bed, was he cuddling his daughter, and then he was leaving when she was finally asleep?
Yeah.
That makes me so sad.
Well, yeah, it's not. I don't think it's an abusive situation. I think he just
I just think he cares about her.
Yeah, yeah.
But the pain is probably too much to sleep in that bed.
Yeah.
So man, that movie, it's good. It's a great movie. I'm not surprised it's your number one. I get why it's your number one, but for me, his other films are just. The Devil is just such a good movie. Man.
It is.
I saw The Devil is great.
How did you guys see it? Because I have a really funny story with I Saw the Devil. Me and my ex were her family was housing a Korean student who was going to school at the college here, and we were trying to be kind to her culture, and we were like, let's watch a Korean movie. So we typed in Korean movie on Netflix, and it was the first fucking movie that popped up. And we're sitting there watching it, and she immediately goes, "Oh, that's the guy from Old Boy." And she goes, this isn't going to be a happy movie." And we started watching it, and I was just like really uncomfortable for that first half hour because I was just surrounded. I was the only guy in the room watching this movie happen, and I'm like, but at the end, I was like, that movie was amazing. And then the girl was like, yeah, that movie rocked. She was like, I love that movie. So how did you guys see it?
I saw The Devil?
Yeah. I think I originally saw it on Netflix just like that.
That was on my radar because I was a fan of the director and I heard good things out of the film festivals. So I think I must have bought it. Oh, that was at a time back 10 years ago. There was 3 websites in the United States that were like Netflix websites where they send you DVDs in the mail. And it was like Tiger Cinema, Cineflix, and eHit. So I rented it from one of those, and they were specifically aimed for or designed for Asian films, but none of those exist anymore. But that's probably when I saw it.
Such a good movie, man. Like that entire film just is one of my favorite things ever. Because it's like an action film behind this super brutal thriller.
Have you seen The Chaser yet?
I still haven't seen The Chaser.
Bro, you gotta check out The Chaser.
So Ice, every time I talk to him on the phone, he's like, "You got to watch The Chaser, man. It's is it really that good?"
Did you see his face just now when he said that? Yeah, it's that good.
So the only release we have is a DVD. So I might just buy the DVD.
Yeah,
because
I do all the time.
I was kind of waiting for somebody to pick up The Chaser. It seems like it should get a Blu-ray at some point, but man, so everyone's saying The Chaser is great. I'm gonna put that on my watch list right now.
So Eric, we have talked over the last couple of weeks about another movie that I'm curious if you've seen called Goodnight Mommy. Have you seen that?
Is that a somewhere from Europe, like German? Or
yes, I think it's a Scandinavian movie.
I think I saw it. That must have came out like a while back, right?
A handful of years, like 2016, something like that.
I think I may have seen it and I liked it, but my memory is hazy on it.
So what's funny is before we talked about A Tale of Two Sisters, I brought up that movie to him because we were looking up a random horror movie for him to watch, and it's a movie about 2 young twin boys, and you find out at the end that one of them was dead the whole time. And then we just happened to watch A Tale of Two Sisters, and because we just talked about that last week, that it was the first thing that I thought of when we watched this. I was like, oh, 2 young girls. I wonder if one of them's dead. And then I was like, what happened? How did we happen to watch these back to back?
That is kind of weird. That is kind of funny how that happened. So Eric, what's your favorite what's your favorite movie from every Asian market? So like Korea, Japan, China, Hong Kong.
Mainland China. It's a romance called Green Tea from 2003. Christopher Doyle did the cinematography for it. That movie's awesome. Hong Kong's more difficult. I might go hard boiled for pure entertainment value. South Korea is A Tale of Two Sisters. Japan is Cure from Kiyoshi Kurosawa.
Okay. Man, you like have these ready to go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have number ones usually. Indonesia's probably The Raid 2.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite action movie of all time. Such a good movie. It's probably my second favorite film overall of all time.
Yeah.
Seven Samurai is number one, but man, The Raid 2. Just fuck. Such a good movie.
If you want to scroll up, Flip, there's a whole bunch of questions that we have not got to yet.
Okay, yeah. From who?
From everybody.
From everybody? Let me see here. So
Flex wants to know if you actually keep your collection in the kitchen.
No, it's just a setup for the video.
Flex says, Asian Movie Enthusiast. Have you seen Suicide Club and Noriko's Dinner Table? Would you recommend it?
Yeah, Suicide Club is actually that director's fantastic, Shion Sono. But neither one of those are my favorites. I think Suicide Club is good in terms of the horror scenes, but in terms of content and depth, I think it bites off more than it could chew. And then Noriko's Dinner Table is kind of like a spiritual connected film to the Suicide Club. And that's like an art house drama that I think is just, it's too long and it abuses narration. So I'm not like the biggest fan of Noriko's Dinner Table.
Noriko's Dinner Table also Shion Sono?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Sono film?
In terms, his best film overall might be Love Exposure, which is a 4-hour drama comedy. But my personal favorite is Tag from 2015. 80 minutes, pure entertainment.
Mine is Why Don't You Play in Hell?
That's number 2 for me.
It's just a fucking bonkers movie. Ryan, have you seen those two?
I think I've seen Tag. I don't think I've seen Why Don't You Play in Hell.
Dude, it's I can't even explain it. It's like an acid trip. It's bonkers. It is bonkers. Question for all three of you. When watching foreign language films, do you prefer subs or dubs?
Subs.
Only subs in my house.
Yep.
Although there are a few exceptions.
Okay.
Ricky O, Story of Ricky, I watch it dubbed. I always watch that one dubbed, baby. Oh, and a few anime like Cyber City 080808 I watch dubbed because there's just so much swearing.
There is something really warming of 90s Kawajiri dubs, like Ninja Scroll, like Cyber City, like Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust, like all of his movies from the 90s are just full of swearing, full of like guys trying to sound overly macho. It's great. Subs all the way, unless, like Eric said, unless there's something really ridiculous going on. I think Ricky is a perfect example.
There's a lot of movies out of Italy where it doesn't make sense to go with a sub because they're dubbed anyways.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Well, so for people that know, the way Italy used to make movies is they didn't record sound to save money. So they were cranking out 300 to 400 films a year. They would add all the sounds in post. So that's why sometimes, like, even if they are speaking the language, their lips don't match up, and you'll have actors who speak 3 or 4 different languages, like from 3 or 4 different countries, in a scene together. Oh, it's so great. I do like Shaw movies dubbed because that's how I grew up watching them.
Sure.
And there's a charm to the same sword sound every 2 seconds. It's really heartwarming. Let's see, who else do we got here? We got some more questions. If you guys have any questions for us, just post them in the comments. Surely Asian Movie Enthusiast is an anime fan.
It took me a while. A lot of the anime I watched early on, I liked, but it took a while. I needed to watch Final Fantasy VII Advent Children. Was one of the first ones that blew me away.
It's so fun.
And then I had 2 days in a row. I watched all of Cowboy Bebop in one day, and then I watched all of Samurai Champloo in one day the day after. And then that was the point when I became a fan, because I finally got on like a hot streak, you know?
Well, you watched two of the greatest animes each in a day.
Yeah.
How do you you have to like savor that, man. You just mainlined greatness. I tried to get my wife to watch Cowboy Bebop and she liked it, but I think the like not having a consistent story through most of it kind of bugged her. You know what I mean? See here, got to watch Ghost in the Shell. You haven't seen Ghost in the Shell, Zero? Damn, that's a
good
classic movie. I have a question for you, Eric, because I'm like you. I love Asian movies. I would say about 85 to 90% of my collection is Asian movies. What about Asian movies makes them so special?
I don't know. I think my usual answer for this is that every film industry has good and bad elements to it. Like they do certain things well, certain things maybe not so well. So if you look at like Japan, they're going to do some things a little bit differently from other countries. You know what I mean? Like even if I go to like South Korea, you know, in their heyday, so to speak, when they started breaking out in the 2000s, I loved their thrillers and the romantic comedies a lot. Like I hit romantic comedies hard in South Korea, and I was never even a fan of that genre, but they just happened to do them well, you know, that particular genre. So each industry has their strengths. I really like Japanese horror films in terms of how they're typically executed. Yeah, and every industry's just got a certain strength to it. That's what I kind of gravitate towards. Hong Kong action flicks from the 80s and 90s, you know, they're how Hong Kong movies in general from the 80s and 90s were like they were made on a different planet.
They're
like there's nothing like them. So it's kind of like that uniqueness.
And to talk about Hong Kong, I think those movies perfectly encapsulate a city and a time period. That like every time I watch a Ringo Lam film or a Choi Hark film, I'm always like, man, I wish I could live in Hong Kong. Minus all the gunfights happening, although you know all the people dying. I wish I could live there. Like when I watched PTU from Johnny Toe, just the way that city is shot, it's beautiful, and nothing feels like that. And also with martial arts films, during like the Shaw Brothers, they feel like they take place in another dimension. Like they don't even feel like they're based in reality. Like every time I watch a Hong Kong or a Shaw film, I'm in my mind, I'm like, this is in a different plane of reality. The same thing I watch when I watch spaghetti westerns. They're supposed to take place in the U.S., but they're like there's land that's not here in the U.S. There's crazy shit happening. We have a question for Ryan. What's Ryan's favorite Korean movie? Stream here.
I don't have a one go to like Eric here. I'll throw out a handful that are pretty much up there. The Host for sure from Bong, and then I Saw the Devil has got to be top 3 or 4 for me. And it's kind of a basic answer over the last 5 years, especially because it blew up on Netflix. But Train to Busan is honestly an amazing movie. It is truly well done, and one of actually probably top 3 zombie movies of all time for me.
Yeah,
that movie messed Taylor up. Don Lee's character in that movie.
Oh yeah, he was lovable.
The way he treats his wife is like exactly the way I treat Taylor. And when he dies, she was like,
that movie has some of the best horror, like dramatic action that you will ever see.
And I think what Korea does really well is that from our Western standpoint, a lot of the stuff seems goofy.
Yep.
But if you're willing to give into it, it fully embraces you and it just takes you off.
Absolutely.
And Don Lee in general, I'll watch anything that man is in. He's hot as fuck. He's built like a brick shit house. I think what Korea does really well is their gangster films. Like their gangster films feels like what Hong Kong was doing in the 90s, but in a modern day. Like even I would say the Gangster, the Cop, the Devil, which is a pretty middle of the road gangster movie is still just elevated by the performances. They're so good. But yeah, I think South Korea. I haven't seen too many North Korean films to know what their films are like. I've seen that Godzilla ripoff. Pulgasari or that was, man, that's something. but Ryan, do you know the story behind that movie?
I read about it a long time ago, and I don't really remember anything about it.
So the North Korean government kidnapped they kidnapped
That's
them, right? And then they
Mhm.
tricked Japan. They said that they were China making a kaiju movie, and they got the guys who made Godzilla to make them a suit. And then they make this fucking movie. It's wild. It's absolutely wild.
And then they sent the director out to a film festival in Europe for a film festival to promote North Korean film. And he's like, please, somebody save me. They just took him when he was on a festival run. Like, you can't make this stuff up.
It's so funny. I mean, it's not funny. That guy and his wife were fucking kidnapped.
But they got out. They got out.
They got out. They made some...
I've heard that they were on the rocks, and then after they got out, they merged their marriage. So they kind of brought them together. It's a happy story.
North Korea did something good. They saved a marriage. So if me and Taylor ever have a falling out, we're gonna go to North Korea. My brother went to North Korea because he's got a PhD in travel. He teaches at Dubai at Middlesex University over there, and he just travels. Like, that's what he does for a living. And he went to North Korea, and I asked him, "Is it cool?" Like, he said that there's like 4 channels on TV that you're only allowed to watch. There's one when they allow foreigners in that has subtitles, and then the other ones are all, you have an educational channel, which is what the government wants you to teach. They have a cartoon channel, and he said the cartoons were so poorly animated, but you weren't allowed to do anything. Like, it was like very like, you're going here, here, and here. Flip, did your love of anime help you get into Asian movies? It's I've said this before, but like, my tastes are pretty much a result of who was working at the restaurant when I was a kid. So back in the day, we pretty much retained like the same employees throughout their entire high school career. And I was, 11, 12, and I would be around these 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And whatever they would give me to watch or play ended up influencing me. And a lot of it was kung fu movies. A lot of it was anime. I've been a huge Godzilla fan since I was a child. My parents used to buy me all the VHSs. And then it also didn't help that there was a video store right behind it. It was a grocery store with a video store in it right behind the restaurant. And I used to just walk over there as a little kid and be like, I want to watch this. And they're like, it's rated R. I'm like, my mom said it's all right. And they're like, whatever. I really like The Rebel. Wasn't that Vietnamese?
Yeah, Johnny Wynn was in that one. That's a good flick if somebody wants to do a Vietnamese action flick.
There's one that came out in Blu-ray here, The Fury.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too.
It's pretty solid.
Same actress who was in Rebel too.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That last scene in that movie is badass. She is, Ryan, you should watch that. It's like Taken, but in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what it is.
Hopefully it's better than Taken.
Oh yeah.
What's your that's a good segue to a new topic, because I love Taken. It's a guilty pleasure. What's a guilty pleasure for you two? Like,
I'm going to give
is objectively bad. And you're just like,
objectively bad.
Because Taken 2 and 3 are trash, but I love
them. Objectively bad. I mean, hey, my first movie I ever saw in a movie theater, Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren, baby. I still like that movie. I still like it.
That's the very first movie you saw in theaters?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
I'm going to say Demon Wind from Vinegar Syndrome, the horror movie. It is so bad. The skins that they use are awful, and the story itself it's missing just actual plot. And for some reason, I'm such a big fan that I've screen used prop skin here in my home from that movie.
Ryan, the show Ice's comment, you have to see New World.
Yes.
Ice was like, you gotta watch it to the point. He said so much to the point where he just bought it for me, and it showed up at my house, and I loved it. It's the same director as Eric. Can you help me out? New World.
Was that Night in Paradise guy?
Yeah, Night in Paradise. That's right. Yep.
Yeah, he's directed some good stuff. The Witch, I think he directed.
Yeah. How did you like
good.
A Night in Paradise?
I liked it. It was the ending got real dicey the last half hour, but I liked it because I wasn't really expecting it.
It went from, if to me, it felt like it was going super serious, and then it went towards the end super melodramatic, like a little too much.
Yeah.
Ryan, that's another one you gotta watch. It's on Netflix.
Is New World, is that a series or a movie?
It's a movie. It's really good. It's very character driven. There's not a lot of action. There's a really cool elevator sequence where it's like one guy versus like 5 people in a single elevator, and it's brutal. Like it's pretty bonkers. Is Asian Movie Enthusiast into tokusatsu?
I've recently been elevating my fandom of that because Mill Creek's been releasing the Ultraman sets, so I've been going through those. I've gone through the first 3 seasons, and now I've gotten like the next 3 seasons bought. So I've been really mowing into that. And actually, Hong Kong did a one called the Super Inframan, which is freaking hilarious.
Yep.
Oh, that is hilarious.
That is a great movie. I would recommend this. This is from I say this all the time. This is my favorite TV show. Like not even like genre wise. I genuinely love this. But this is Mega Beast Investigator Juspian. This is an official release from Discotech. It's great. I love this movie, and I talk about it a lot. But it's 46 episodes on one disc.
Nice, so one disc.
Yeah, they do. Since and it actually looks good since there's no HD transfers of this, so it's all SD on Blu-ray. So it's DVD quality, but you're able to fit it all into one Blu-ray.
See, I was worried about that because I just bought a few Blu-ray sets of stuff I had trouble getting, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show from the early 2000s, which I remember on TV being a lot better than the original series. But I bought that, and it only came on like 3 Blu-ray discs, but I guess it should be okay.
Yeah, 3 should be fine. Now, these are going to look like shit, and I know this. It's 3 movies per disc. Like, this is not going to... That's going to look awful, and I know it, but... John says, I'm a sicko that likes pinky violence era of Japanese exploitation.
There's some good ones out there.
There's some good ones. I like is it Sex Tales or Yakuza Tales and Sex and Violence? I think
Sex and Fury, maybe.
Sex and Fury. That's
yeah.
Right. And then the unrelated sequel because it's a different actress and different. I think it's a different actress. Yakuza something. It's a Tiro Ishii film. Is the sequel.
Yeah, I like Zero Woman Red Handcuffs. That's a good one for anybody who wants one.
What is that about?
Oh, it's a solid. It's this lady goes undercover for this like gang that kidnapped a girl, and it gets pretty nasty, but it's good stuff. Oh, and School of the Holy Beast if you want some non-exploitation. That's a good one too.
That's a movie that I don't want in my collection.
Oh, it's good though.
I mean, technically, what do you call it? Whoa. Technically, Female Prisoner Scorpion is a pinky violence movie. And Arrow did a really nice box set of that. Like just beautiful. And then all their Taro Ishii films like Shogun's Joy of Torture, Orgies of Edo. I save those movies for when my wife's out of town. I'm like, all right, she's out of town. Time to watch something that she would very much judge me for watching and liking.
That's the one that John just brought up.
Zoom Up Murder Site.
What is that about?
It is. Let's see. This could probably say it better. A violent killer is preying on women and dumping their bodies in an abandoned building. Tomoko cheats on her lover with another man and thinks the killer saw the romantic tryst. She doesn't want to go to the police because she's afraid her affair will be discovered as the killer continues his murderous spree. What will Tomoko do to hide her torrid secret? Can she escape the hands of the murderer? And it was described as a collection of staggeringly repulsive murders, perhaps the most sadistic ever generated on film.
Wow, that's quite a claim.
It is a very mean-spirited movie for sure.
So, Eric, how did you get into Asian movies?
Well, I did it casually, like everyone else, or a lot of other people. I watched Godzilla when I was a kid, Bruce Lee, and then I did like other stuff, Hong Kong stuff when the big boys came over, like Jackie Chan with Rumble in the Bronx and stuff like that. But the moment really came in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, when Asian horror was hitting blockbuster stores like crazy. So it was that combined with Girls with Guns movies. And those were the two that really got me into it.
What's your favorite Girls with Guns movie?
If In the Line of Duty 4 counts.
In the Line of Duty 4?
Donnie Yen is in that one too. That's just action-packed.
Huh. So, Ryan, how did you get into Asian movies?
Sadly, and probably super stereotypically for me, but it was at the advent of horror. Same as what he just said, with the rediscovery of some of the American remakes that were coming out and hitting big, and going into the history of those. If you fall in love with The Ring, you kind of want to see Ringu. You want to see everything that came before it. You want to see Ju-on. You want to see Shudder. You want to see everything else. And through that, you start going, man, this is a great actor. And then you realize, oh shit, they've made 34 other movies, and these 19 of them sound great. And suddenly you've watched 73 movies that you've never heard of, and they're all amazing. So
yeah.
God says Gorilla Girl Boss series. I've never heard of this. So I'm Googling it right now and see what it is.
I remember those being pretty good, but I don't remember a lot of details.
Yeah, this looks like something that would get me in trouble from like the government. No, I'm just kidding. It's exactly what you think. They're just boobs.
Speaking of Asian horror, do you know why we don't have any good blues of Ju-on, Eric?
I don't know, man. I know there was a Japanese release without subs, but man, you'd think there'd be a box set. And that series is way more reliable than Ring. I mean, there's some garbage Ring movies. Ju-on's definitely more consistent.
Ju-on is much better.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that Arrow didn't, because they did One Missed Call and then they did Ringu. I expected about a year later to get Ju-on.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Maybe we'll still get it at some point.
Even some of the recent ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, they're still making Ju-on movies?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's I think the Ju-on Beginning of the End was like, what was that, 2014? There was one from 2015, The Final Curse. And then they came out with the miniseries just last year, 2 years ago.
Yep. 2019, I think.
Arrow has a weird thing like where they'll tease certain releases. Like they tease more Kinji Fukasaku. I think Proxy War was the one that I was really excited for, and then just nothing for like 2 years now. So maybe. Who knows?
We also got a tease from them for Inglourious Bastards, and now we saw it here, at least in the States, the 4K is going to the studio. Obviously they can still do it in the UK, but
that they also teased that around the time as True Romance, right? And True Romance got a UK release,
right?
So maybe, yeah, that's weird. I don't know. I mean, it's 2021. I feel like the majority of hardcore collectors have a region-free player, so it's like, at like this point, it's just companies being silly.
Yeah.
Only region B. It's like, okay, well, we're just gonna buy it from Diabolic, and it's gonna be in my region A home.
Yeah.
Eric, do you have a region-free player?
I actually have two. I have two Blu-rays, one A and B.
Oh, really? So you have two players? Awesome. Yeah. What's something about you that not a lot of people know? Like, what's another hobby of yours besides movies?
Oh, I'm a big foodie, man.
Big foodie?
Yeah.
Do you cook?
No, I have other people cook for me, man. Come on. Do I cook? I like eating it.
Oh man.
Notice he's the thinnest of the three of us too.
That's true. Yeah. Well, it sucks. I'm around pizza 24/7.
Well, and you and I both cook a lot.
Yeah, and dude, Ryan posts pictures on his Facebook of just the most amazing looking food.
Man,
for real, like Ryan is a better cook than me. I can cook like a menu that I've been cooking for 30 years. He's been he like just randomly like it. I don't know. It's incredible. His cooking skills are incredible.
My specialty is spaghetti with butter and some grated freaking cheese on top. Only a master could prepare that.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. What's your favorite food?
Man, now that's a tough freaking question.
Like, if
I
you're
have
on
no idea.
death row, final meal.
I might go off grid, do something oddball if that's the case. I mean, obviously, a phenomenal steak is high, but I think like a Japanese fatty tuna sushi might be up there, like the highest grade fatty tuna.
So, have you been to Tokyo and Japan in general?
Yeah, it's like my main vacation destination. I save up and go every few years.
I really want to go. I was wanting to go the year I eventually got married, but getting married kind of just happened. You know, I met my wife and was like, let's get married. And then we got married 4 months later. And it worked out. We're happily married. Knock on wood. She still puts up with me. She still watches all my movies I make her watch, except she has a hard limit on kung fu movies. She's like, I'm not watching that. It just bothers her. So didn't you meet Daisuke Beppu?
Yeah. Yeah, one time. Huh?
How is he in person? Is he super cool?
Dude is diesel.
Really? He's jacked?
Dude, he lifts. You can't tell. That dude lifts. That
Really?
dude hits yeah, I'm not joking, dude. Like if I had to get into a fight in Tokyo, I want that dude by my side. Serious, and he's super nice.
But
he's diesel. Yeah.
How tall do you think he is?
Well, he's shorter than me. I don't know. I'm bad with the.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'9".
God damn it! You're still taller than me. Fuck! I can't find anyone that's as tall as me. Everyone's a giant. You're a giant compared. I'm 5'6". Jesus.
And keep in mind, Eric's what, 64 years old? You said? I'm just kidding.
Oh man! So Daisuke is built like a brick shit house. Damn, that's fucking scary. Just like knowing that this Criterion nerd could rip my head off.
Oh yeah.
I love that his entire brand is glasses.
Yeah. I'm actually pissed that Criterion hasn't reached out to him because he's like, he's so nice and like pushes that brand and everything they do. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome has reached out to, I think Michael Keane?
Yep.
You know, they've reached out to him. Severance reached out to Aaron Pinn, I think. Mill Creek has for sure. They send Aaron shit all the time. But Daisuke is the one that has his brand and it's Criterion, and
he has every single Criterion release in the official set.
That's fucking wild.
Every freaking one.
Which is insane.
That's wild to me, man. I couldn't even imagine having that much space. And he has them on every format too, right? He has.
I don't know. I know he has multiple formats. I don't know if he has everything on every format.
Jesus, that's over 1,000 releases. Damn. Do you have over 1,000 movies, Ryan?
Oh yeah, you can almost see 1,000 just in the background.
Yeah,
right there. 1,000 movies is a lot less space than you think it is.
Yeah, that's true. I was actually surprised. I was showing him last night this entire bookshelf. I was able to condense it onto one shelf, stacking them horizontally instead of vertically like we usually do. And I was like really shocked by how much little space movies actually take. It's crazy.
I have. Go ahead.
No, you.
I was going to say, for numbers, just Scream Factory alone, I've got like almost 600 titles.
What?
Yeah.
How much do you own physically, Eric?
That's a good question.
It's definitely over 1,000.
Do you have like a bookshelf?
I do it weird. I have like a separate little storage room, and because I used to keep them like open. I didn't like how they got dusty and stuff, so I keep them in. I buy like huge, almost like storage bins from Lowe's or whatever, and I put the discs. They're like perfectly sized. You could just slide them in on top, and I close it, so they're like preserved. Yes.
No disc rot at all.
I don't know. I've played some discs from like 20 years ago, and they still work. But
that's crazy. It's crazy. I was gonna say, what's your favorite thing to do in Japan? Do you like to hit the Tokyo Hentai Club, or do you like to...
I usually pick fights with Yakuza while I'm down there. But
Yeah.
obviously eating, because I'm a big foodie. I mean, I hit the food hard. And then I would say like interacting with people. There's a lot of like fun interaction you can have with Japanese people. I like to mess with them a little bit too, and they like it.
Why? Like how? Like
for example, I'll do like I'm always like respectful, but I'll be at like a restaurant, like a fancy restaurant, right? But I have like a little yokai monster book that I bring with me, and I'll just like flip the page open to the turtle sprite. You know, there's like a turtle sprite, the kappa, and the kappa is known for flatulence. And it's just, there's just like a picture of it, and it's just sitting there, and I'm just like reading, and the waitress will come over all prim and proper, and I'll just leave the book, on the page, and she'll look, and she'll be like, and she'll have to like hold in her. There was another great thing. I was at a tempura place. It was just me, and then there was this couple with their baby, and every time the baby made a sound, they take it out of the restaurant. They bring it back in. Baby made a sound. They take it out of the restaurant. I'm like, this is ridiculous. So they're on the way. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, the baby's okay. The baby's okay. You don't have to leave. You know what I mean? And she's like, oh, okay, I'll tell my husband. So she goes out, gets the husband and the baby. They come in, and then this Japanese woman puts the baby down and in English tells the baby, now you can scream as much as you want. And she started laughing. I was like, don't push it, lady. So Japanese, they have a good sense of humor. You can mess with them.
After they walked back in, you should have said, get that fucking thing out of here.
Do you have any other stories from your travels over there, or like any sites that are like kind of off the beaten path that are worth?
Yeah, if you can, there's some tour. I used to take tours the first few times. If you could get somebody could get to Shirakawago, which is almost like the Hobbit home from Lord of the Rings. You have like you're in the middle of the wilderness, in the forests or whatever, in the hills, and you'd have these huge houses, and the roofs are made of like dry grass or hay, and they're like 3-story like wooden houses. It's really cool. So that would be a place to visit.
Safe houses to live in?
Oh yeah, probably.
Like during like tsunamis and stuff, and
well, that's in the middle of the kind of like in the middle of the country.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's cool.
Is it worth traveling there alone? Because if I go, it's either by myself or I have to take my wife and child. And the wife and child, I probably wouldn't be able to do the things I want to do. So,
yeah, I've been going it alone every time. Well, unless I'm in a tour group. But the last few times I've gone alone, and it's fun.
Is it easy to get around, safe to get around, all that?
Yeah, you'll spend like 30 minutes at the train station the first time figuring it out, but after you figure it out, it's easy.
Cool. Well, if I ever go, I'm going to be like, hey, you should go with me. And,
we'll have sushi with Daisuke.
Yeah, and then because I also lift weights, so I would love to go to the gym with Daisuke.
Yeah, I can watch you guys work out. I'll watch a movie or something.
The freaking Arrow fan and the Criterion fan working out together. This rep is for who's the best company, and just like Daisuke seems like a cool dude. Everyone in the in the community, like I think Samurai Guy is super nice. He's coming on next week.
Oh, sweet!
Which you're more than welcome to join us. We're talking about Sonny Chiba.
Wow!
You're more than happy to just hop on.
Yeah, it's a possibility. Or on Tuesday, I'll have to check. I'm doing another collab, I think on Monday with the Artie Dance. I think that one's Monday, so I may be able to make it on Tuesday. I'll let you know.
Dude, you're more than welcome. We're just going to be shooting the shit about Sonny Chiba. I think Ryan, you only have a few things, right? Of Sonny Chiba?
Yeah, only a handful.
I only have a handful too, but what I do have, it's really good. He's so fucking iconic. You know what I mean? Like, and there's something about that era of Japanese guys. Like Japanese actors now don't look like that anymore. Like those guys, who's the actor from Dead or Alive? The main guy.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
With the mullet. You know exactly. he's so iconic looking. You know what I mean? Like those like actors who played Yakuza people look so badass. I think Sonny Chiba is amazing. I was watching the Street Fighter movies. And they're
Yeah.
just, I think objectively those are bad movies, but you're watching them and you're just having so much fun with what the fuck's going on screen. Which I think you didn't like Wolf Guy.
I didn't really either.
Really?
Ricky Takuchi is his name.
Yeah, Ricky,
I just looked him up.
Yeah, he's awesome. He looks so cool. I wish I looked like that. I wish I could grow a mullet and just walk around in a black trench coat. Was that pre-Columbine or was that after Columbine?
Did the Outlaw Rekka?
No,
that was 2000.
Dead or Alive.
The first one was before.
Just
It
before.
was late 90s, I think.
Those two really ruined trench coats. I love every like mid 90s, up until the Matrix and a little after. I always just wanted a black trench coat and just walk around, feel like a badass.
Not to change the subject to school shootings, but did you see what one of the Vinegar Syndrome partner labels is putting out this month?
I saw it. Yeah,
dude,
yeah.
It looks pretty tasteless, and I can't wait to watch it.
You haven't seen that?
No.
Carbine.
I remember
High?
hearing about it years ago, but
did you play the game Super Columbine Massacre RPG?
No.
There was someone made like a little like RPG maker game where like you play as Eric and what's the other guy's name?
Dylan, I think.
Dylan, yeah, Eric and Dylan, and like you like start your day off in one of their houses. You go get like a Marilyn Manson CD, and then it's literally turn based. You're like fighting the students and the teachers, and it's turn based, and you can shoot and kill them. It's really tasteless. But
I'm into that stuff now, though.
Me too.
I intentionally watch, like I'm really big into like category 3 films. When I first started watching them, I was like, oh, okay. But now I'm even more into them because I know I'm definitely not supposed to watch them. So that makes me want to watch them more. Like,
what's your favorite Cat 3 film?
I would have to Run and Kill with Simon Yam. It's right up there with Ricky O in terms of like entertainment value.
Really?
But it's serious.
Run and Kill.
Mm-hmm.
Is it directed by Billy Tang?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna add that to my watch list.
That's a sweet flick.
It's not available to watch anywhere. Damn.
Of course not.
Hopefully, 88.
Did you ever end up watching The Untold Story like we talked about?
Me? No.
Yeah.
No. Not yet.
That movie is something else. The Untold Story is so good.
The main character in this movie is called Fatty.
And yeah.
A man, Fatty, returns home to find his wife with another man. I didn't notice, but you know the movie Exiled by Johnny To?
Yeah.
That was a category 3 film for one reason. It's because they shake hands with the gangsters at one point, and that just got slapped with a category 3 rating.
Yeah.
Damn, that's so stupid. I haven't seen an erotic ghost story.
All three of them are entertaining to a degree, but they're not as good as like Chinese Ghost Story, which is way better.
And then Robotrix and Ricky are on their way.
Oh, Robotrix is nicely offensive.
Wait, why? Why?
The cops basically like go undercover. One of the women, like they have a woman go undercover as a prostitute, and the cops themselves will try to go in and pay her to sleep with her while she's on the job in one scene.
That sounds right up my alley.
It's good, and there's some. They play a certain offensive act for comedy too later in the film, so it's got some good stuff in it.
That's definitely a wife's away movie. That's
yes.
But is there more category 3 that's just like Ricky O? Like not that much sex, just hyper violent.
The Seventh Curse from the same director. The Cat. Oh man, somebody's got to freaking release that movie, dude. It's about. I can't even. I wish I had my plot synopsis ready, but it's basically you have serial. I gotta fire up my synopsis because I can't do it justice without the synopsis.
It's just violence.
It's violence, but really freaking cheesy, and it rips off other movies like The Terminator.
Ryan, when
is that the one from 2011?
No, 1992. I got the synopsis. A man hires a dog assassin while investigating 2 alien human hybrids led by a really pissed off warrior house cat who steal artifacts in an attempt to stop a vicious killer blob with high voltage slime testicles that can transport itself inside human beings. That's your synopsis. Can someone please release this film on Blu-ray?
That is the sort of synopsis that just made me drunk just from hearing it.
Oh man, dude!
Wow,
that movie's amazing.
You made Monster go into my nose, and then now it hurts.
And it's from the director of Ricky O. So,
oh damn, Ricky O. So there's very few. I would say like maybe 10 movies that I remember exactly where I was when I saw it, and Ricky O is one of them. Like, where were you guys when you saw Ricky O?
I want to say it was out of town on business, and it was at night in the hotel room, and I saw it on YouTube. It was uploaded onto YouTube.
So you're just alone in a hotel room. You're like, I'm gonna watch this.
Yeah. Before I go to bed. Yeah.
Before I go to bed. What about you, Ryan?
Mine was very late to the game. It was literally just in this house, 19 months ago, something like that. I got the other. Once again, she fell asleep like 30 minutes into it.
That movie, man. It's too much. It's too much. It's too good. It's too good for this world. What is Dr. Lamb?
Dr. Lamb, I believe, is coming from Unearthed. Is that correct, Eric? Do you know?
Probably. I think I heard that. Simon Yam, one of my favorite actors, is in it. I do think it's a little underwhelming on the violence, though, to be honest.
D-Flex wants to know, what do you do, Eric, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm an accountant, basically, an auditor.
Oh, that's what my cousin is. So you're the guy that comes in and is like, hey, fucker.
Yeah.
Been audited. Well, I could think of meaner people to be getting audited from. We knock on wood, we've never been audited at the restaurant. Now, some of my cousins' restaurants, they've been audited and they're like freaking out, like just spazzing. They're like, "Oh, what do I do? What do I do?" I'm like, "You don't do anything. If you got nothing to hide, just relax."
Exactly.
Yeah, usually I ignore minor crap. I just look for big stuff. You know what I mean? So
have you cracked down on something big before?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like fun as fuck? To be like,
not really. But what I do is I'm like the I don't know what you would call. I'm like the contractor in an action movie. So like if I find something big that's wrong, I don't even say anything to the person. I go and I tell my boss, and they get the assassin. The assassin takes them out.
That's awesome. So we have a auditor. We have a. I still don't know what you do exactly, right? I just know you work for the government.
I can't tell you.
And then I make pizzas. So
I'll be flat out honest. I'm actually an immigration officer.
That's right. I knew it was something with immigration.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, for an immigration officer, I would think of no one better for the job. You're very nice.
A 6'5", very white man.
That's true. I mean, you two are very pale. I think I'm pale. This is me pale, but you two are like,
yeah.
You two are like white.
We also have better lighting than you do.
I don't know. I think my LED light bulb looks just fine. I mean, I don't know. The shine off my head. You can see the indent in my skull right there. I have a huge bump in my head. John, every job isn't interesting. It really isn't. Like once you get into it, it's just I have a friend who does landscaping, and whenever he does jobs here, I help him. And the first time I was like, man, this is gonna be so much fun. And it's just like, no, it's backbreaking work. It's just moving stone for 8 hours.
Yeah, it's not like you're clipping bonsai trees like Mr. Miyagi or anything.
That's what I thought it was gonna be. I thought
I
thought we were gonna be like trimming bushes, mowing yards, and no, he like lays out like gravel, and he's in his 40s, so now he's like, you're gonna do it. You're younger than me. So, but hey, it pays well, extremely well. What was your first job, Eric? Your first job ever?
It was at It was at a pharmacy, basically a convenience store kind of, and I was stocking shelves. That's what I did when I went to college. I kind of liked it.
I worked at Carl's Jr., which was the West Coast version of Hardee's. I did cooking, I did drive-through, cashiered, everything.
I've never had, a main job. It's always been, my parents made me work when I was in 4th grade, like full time. Because my mom grew up with immigrant parents, and my mom growing up, she would have to wake up before kindergarten and clean the kitchen because they lived above the restaurant. So they would go downstairs, clean the kitchen, and then they would go to school. So I remember in 4th grade, I was at home doing homework, and my mom calls the house because we live right across the street from the restaurant. And she goes, "Do you think it's fair that me and your dad are working so hard?" And I'm like, I'm like 8. I don't know. So they made me start working. And I've never had another job, like a real job. I wouldn't even know how to fill out a fucking application.
My wife makes fun of me. She says, at my age, I've worked basically every type of job there is because I've worked everywhere. I've worked in so many different jobs.
I like the pizza place. It's just, I was telling you last night, it's just grueling.
Yeah.
Especially with no employees. It's just like, bleh. It's a grind. I bust tables at a restaurant in Henry Dorley Zoo. I was 14, making $4.75 an hour. Holy shit!
Yeah, I was right around.
It's a nice zoo.
Is it a nice zoo?
It's a real nice zoo, yeah.
Eric, if you're ever in the Midwest, if you're ever in Illinois, I'm not gonna say exactly where because I actually had a viewer come to my restaurant. Have I told you this story, Ryan?
No.
I had this happened twice, and one of them wasn't weird. One of them was a nice guy who had talked to me on Twitter beforehand. He's like, "Hey, I live 45 minutes away. Would it be weird if I came and got a pizza?" And I said, "No, come get a pizza." He was super nice. One guy, I get a DM on Twitter, and it's a picture of me at work, like taken from one of the tables. And I was like, I just wrote, like what, how do you react to that? And he was like, "Hey, I was too nervous to say hi." But then he started sending me photos of like me in my car.
Oh,
it got really weird. So I had to block him and eventually had to contact the police and be like, "Hey, this dude is sending me some weird pictures." I was like, "Yeah, just say hi." He was like, I was too nervous. I'm like, "Dude, at the time I had like 3,000 subscribers." I was like, "I have 3,000 subscribers. I'm a nobody. I'm still a nobody. I'm always going to be a nobody. Just say hi." But yeah, if you're ever in Central Illinois, Eric, come get a pizza on me.
All right.
We can sit in the back and watch Ricky O while we.
If you need motivation making pizza, listen to some Bandmade, baby. They'll get you fired up.
My dad, I actually tried a couple nights ago because I watched Kate, and I thought the soundtrack was great. So I put on Bandmade, and it wasn't my night for aux cord duties. And my dad was like, "Turn this shit off. Turn back on Alan Jackson." Which honestly, Alan Jackson, it could be worse. Who's your favorite like Western artist, like music wise? Because you're really into Bandmade and like other Asian music.
Oh, okay. I would say it's a girl from Canada named Christy Thirsk. I think she retired, but she did back in the 90s. I started listening to weirder stuff because I got sick of like the popular stuff. So she did a lot of work with Delirium, which is very like ambient music, and Rose Chronicles, which is like really cool alternative. If you want cool alternative, listen to Rose Chronicles. And then she did her own like pop type stuff after that. I like her a lot. And then Delirium, Bandmade, and KMFDM I like a lot. But they're technically German, yeah.
How about you, Ryan? Ryan, I don't know what you listen to. Like
all kinds of stuff I listen to.
That's true. Never mind. We've had to see.
Yeah.
Ryan and I both grew up on a good Midwest emo. And
the only thing I don't think we've talked about, which is a good time to say it because Eric's here. I adore ska music. I grew up as a marching band kid, so like I love Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra. Oh yeah.
What'd you play?
I played baritone saxophone.
I played trombone. Hey, did you play in band, Eric?
No, I tried. I was forced to play trumpet in grammar school, and no.
You look like a trumpet player.
I couldn't do it. couldn't get the technique down. I just my teacher wasn't very motivating.
We used to take like those like Mardi Gras bead necklaces, and we would chop them up, and the whole trombone section would put one in their slide, and in the middle of practice we would blow it, and it would hit the techer in the head, and they'd be like, they would have to stop, and they'd be like, "What's going on?" The whole trombone section's like trying not to laugh. Just,
if you can get your hands on it, there's a Japanese movie called Swing Girls, and it's from 2004. It's a great like family comedy, and it's about girls who learn like jazz music in high school. It's great.
Nice.
Swing Girls, that title could go a lot of directions. Because when you said that, I was like, oh, and then you said family comedy, and I was like, oh. How's your nights going? Zero says. How was your guys' day?
Mine was good. Just a basic day at work, and then just watched some of the special features on A Tale of Two Sisters before this.
How about you, Ryan?
I had a super long day, not compared to you, but I worked a good 10 and a half hours today. Found out kind of good news. I have an interview on Thursday, actually. So yeah, excited about that.
In the same field, like in the same job?
Same government agency, but it would be at like the district offices. It would be a substantial increase in responsibility and everything. So
my 2 days off was bled together because we're so short-handed that I was at the restaurant at 2 a.m. cleaning till about, I want to say like 5-ish. And then I talked to Ryan on the phone because he was like, "Hey, you want to chat?" And I was like, "I'm up." And he's like, "What the fuck are you doing up?" And then I didn't get any sleep. I got like 4 hours because my kid woke me up by kissing me a lot, which is sweet. She walked over and she's like, "Hi, Daddy," and give me a kiss. And then I've just been white knuckling it the rest of the day.
Oh yeah, and then I cooked another killer dinner too.
Nice.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. You posted a picture. Posted an amazing picture. I'm gonna bring it up.
Turned out real good tonight.
Eric, do you have any hidden talents?
Hidden talents.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, Eric, look at this. Look at this. Look at these sandwiches, man. They're like, it's like a gourmet fucking sandwich.
Man.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm good at picking good wines to bring to family functions.
That's good. That's good. You seem like you would be like a really fun uncle or like a cousin that like everyone's like really pumped about seeing.
I'm awesome. So yeah. It only makes sense.
I love that. The modesty. Good.
Yeah, just this we had a Labor Day picnic, and like, you know, there's some little kids maybe ranging between like 3 to 8 years old, and they kept like dragging me into the playroom because then they could push me around, you know, because I just try to, I'm the one they target.
That's exactly how I am too. I'm the pushover. My kid, I was at work cooking, and my kid called me, took Taylor's phone and called me. She's 3.5. And I go, hello? Because I could hear the baby, and I thought something was wrong. And she goes, Daddy, I want McDonald's. And I was like, all right. So I went and I stopped what I was doing and went and drove and got her McDonald's. And seeing her little face light up, she's like, oh, Daddy got me McDonald's. She doesn't even eat all her food. She eats like 2 chicken nuggets and like 2 fries, and then she's full. She's so like petite. So then my wife or I end up. What are you drinking tonight, Eric?
Oh, Japanese whiskey.
Ooh, what kind? Those are usually pretty high dollar.
Right
Kamiki. It's a little pricey, but it's not. I used to be able to drink really good stuff, like 12-year age statements for like $40 a bottle, which isn't cheap, but still really good. Now those are like Japanese whiskey's just skyrocketed because of the demand. It's hard to find good stuff that's reasonable anymore.
I was on some whiskey site because I don't know why. I was just like, I'm gonna get into whiskey, and some Japanese bottles were like $20,000, and I was like, fuck that. It's like, I'll just drink Jack.
Yeah. There's really good bourbons though for reasonable prices, and rums even.
So what's that one's flavor profile, as the experts would say?
Man, I'm really bad at like. I just know it tastes good. It's got a little spice. It's got a little bit of a spice into it. It has an aroma of. You get some fruit notes, some stoned fruit, and some spice. Yeah, it's good.
You should start your your Asian whiskey reviews.
Yeah,
Like maybe pair it with a movie.
I
Like
should do that.
This whiskey
Pair of wine
tastes
with the
like,
movie. That'd be a good one.
yeah, Tumbling Doll of Flesh and this whiskey is a great pair.
Yeah, that one I might have to do a nasty scotch or something for that one. Like,
could you imagine if that was all whiskey in Ryan's fucking barrel there? Jesus, you would be shit faced, dude. You would be gone. You'd be gone, dude.
I am not a cheap date.
Yeah, but you're a big guy though. Like
Exactly. It takes a lot. I've still to this day never been drunk in my life.
wow.
I get drunk off of one shot.
I've only gone hardcore maybe 3 or 4 times my whole life. I just don't like the feeling.
I don't like it either, man, especially the next day.
I just like a nice little buzz if I'm partying, and then I maintain the buzz, but I don't go too far past it.
Exactly.
I didn't drink at all in high school, that when I turned 21, my parents took me to Buffalo Wild Wings after work, and I had a Long Island iced tea, and my dumbass goes, I don't even like iced tea, and this is delicious. There's no tea in it. I was like, man, this is delicious. And then my mom was like, you're an absolute idiot. There's no tea. And I was drunk after one. And then the next day for my 21st, I went to B-Dubs and I had like 6 Long Islands. And my ex at the time was driving. She was underage, so she wasn't drinking. And the next day at work, my dad said I was green. Like I was green, and he goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "I'm never doing that again. Never." It's just not good. I get me times 11, and I'm more reserved on these streams. But like when I start cutting up, when I start being a little inappropriate, that's how I am all the time. And me drunk is that amplified.
So it's racist flip times about 3.
We had a Filipino dishwasher, and her brothers all worked at the restaurant. She's like a family friend, and she would be like, she would come to work and she'd be like, "You fucking greasy wop," and just love it. And then I would go, "Risa, is it racist if I just do one?" And she would be like, "Fuck you, you lost all your hair," and just like we would just go back and forth all the time.
Should be the standard of how everybody reacts with everyone else.
I don't know, dude.
I think it would be so much easier.
We did have this is a funny story. My friend Tito, he's Mexican, and we would always shout at each other like racist slurs. He would call me, because my family's from Sicily, so he's like, "You're the monkeys of Italy. You guys suck," and I'd be like, "You're Mexican." Blah. So one night, me and Taylor, when we first started dating, we're driving around town, and I see Tito's car at Steak and Shake, and I drive in the parking lot. And he's walking in, and I roll down the window, and I go, "Hey, you fucking spick," and you wet back all this stuff. And he turns around, he goes, "Get out of the car and say it to my face." Taylor didn't know I knew this guy, so she's like, "What is happening right now?" So I get out of the car, and me and him are like face to face yelling at each other, and then we just start laughing and we give each other a hug. And I turn around and my wife was like had the phone in her hand, like ready to call 911 because she thought I was gonna get murdered. I was like, "No, this is just my best friend." I love that guy, and I don't want to put him on blast, but I saw him try to hit on a girl and just swing and a miss so hard. We're at this Korean ice cream shop. It was like Korean shaved ice cream. Like it's weird. Like they would freeze. I don't know if this is a normal thing, but Ryan, have you been in these places where they'll freeze ice cream into a block, and then like it's ice cream, but it's the texture of shaved ice. So you'll get like vanilla flavored shaved ice cream. And it's like 5 of us sitting there, and we're talking about Rocky for some reason. And the girl just was hearing our conversation, just to be nice, goes, "Rocky's my favorite movie." She's like, I love it. And we're like, oh, that's cool. And then we continue our conversation. And Tito walks up and he's got a thick Mexican accent. And he goes, he's like, so you like Rocky, eh? And she's like, yeah, I love it. And he's like, what about Rocky 2? And she's like, no. He goes through every fucking sequel. And every answer is like, no, I just like the first one. And then he's like, you want to go out sometime? And she's like, no. We're like, oh man, poor Tito. People really geek out on Japanese whiskey. Yeah, it's true. But why though? Like, it seems like it was like an overnight thing. Seemed like,
yeah, some of it is really good.
But now they're like $20,000 for a bottle. And then there's one, I think Fat Samurai guy posted on Instagram, just a picture of a bottle, and it had a samurai helmet as the top.
Dang.
And I was like, shit, I want that. And I looked it up. It was like $700. And I was like,
no.
I can't justify that.
No.
I had some kind of alcohol. My friend went to like Chicago, and they had like exotic alcohol drinks, and they had one from like Taiwan or something, and it was a cobra dead in the bottle.
Ooh.
Like a full cobra body in the bottle.
That's badass.
Dude, I took one shot and I almost vomited because it tasted like death. You could taste the decay.
I wonder why.
It was not good. It was not a good time. So, Eric, have you ever been racist?
No.
To get it back on track, is there an upcoming physical media release that you're looking forward to other than Shawscope
and Gran Torino 4K?
Mimicry Freaks, that Japanese horror flick. It's like a throwback to like the 90s, where it's kind of violent. It's low budget. Like, dude wakes up in the forest, and like it's almost got like a mad science element to it too. It was pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to. I only saw it because I got the Region 2 Japanese release. So when the legit Region 1 release comes out in October, I'll probably get that.
Is that the same company who put out God, what's his name? Not Meatball Machine. Anatomia Extinction, or
No, it's a different company.
Okay, because they're doing some kind of forest movie too.
Dude, freaking Warped Forest is. I've been trying to watch that movie for 10 years, so that's like one of the most highly anticipated releases of all time. And it might not even be a good film. I have no idea, but I've been looking for it for 10 years.
Why though? Like
better.
Is there like a director attached to it that you like, or?
Yeah, the director did some oddball stuff like Funky Forest and stuff like that, which is neat. And plus, Fumi Nakaido is in it, the lead actress. So, and I watched the trailer like a while back, and it looked pretty crazy.
How about you, Ryan? What's your most anticipated release for the rest of the year?
That's a great question. It's probably that Severin folk horror box set, although that probably won't get here till next year at this point.
Mine's the Joseph Quo box set from Eureka. Just the fact that we're getting that alone is pretty mind-boggling. Like, it's just mind-boggling. Like, they teased it, and it was 7 Grandmasters, and I was like, oh, cool. And then it's just the majority of his movies minus Mystery of Chess Boxing. Which is just awesome. It's 8 movies, right, Ryan?
I think so, yeah.
But man, what a year Eureka's had! All the Hong Kong movies.
Oh yeah,
One Armed Boxer, and all the heroic bloodshed films that they're putting out.
Yeah,
and Frank Zhang does great commentaries.
He is awesome. He is amazing.
And he does it by himself, and he has a nice pace, and he's really good, man.
I think he's very similar to how I feel about Tom Mess, where they're the perfect blend of like fan and facts.
Yeah,
and I think Ryan and I have talked about this a lot, but there's like I think Criterion's the biggest label that has this problem for me personally is. They just feel so, I don't know, pretentious with their commentaries and very
academic,
which is
scholars instead of fans,
right.
And I like that Tom Mess and Frank Zhang seem to be fans who became scholars.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? because I think I'm friends with Tom S on Facebook for some reason, and he got a job like teaching at a college in Japan. So he's a academic.
Mm-hmm.
And then Frank's been around for decades doing his thing. He runs the film festival in New York, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's super knowledgeable.
Yeah,
It's
super
crazy.
nice guy too.
Is he really? Is he super nice?
He collabs with Samurai Guy a lot.
Oh, really?
On the Thursday, yeah. If you check the historical streams on Thursdays on Samurai Guy's channel, Frank's been on there about probably like 10 times.
Samurai Guy is awesome. He's such a nice guy. He cracks me up because I'm in his Facebook group, and he does the same intro and outro. Like as he types, he's like, "What's up, all you action movie lovers?" Like I love this guy.
Yeah,
he's so nice, and he looks just like my best friend Jen, like almost exactly like him. Yeah, he seems super nice. I'm excited to talk Sonny Chiba next week.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully you can join us. He asked he wanted to do something tonight. And I said, "Why don't you just join us?" And he's like, I don't want to barge in on your stream. I'm like, dude, you're more than welcome to come in.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't think Ryan's gonna be opposed to that.
I will be pissed.
No, Sam.
I'm gonna message him and be like, "It's good you didn't come on because I would have had a problem with you."
So how long have you been friends with him? Because you've been doing a lot of stuff.
Only if we've been collabing just for like a year and a half now, but I've been following him and posting in his comment section for maybe 3 or 4 years.
It seems like you two have been, I think, like the longest running people for like my type of cinema, like my favorite types of cinema. Especially you. I used your Mike videos to just go through and like watch a bunch of them, and I think you did a good job of highlighting the best of his work, because there's a lot of
there's some crap in there.
There's a lot of crap. Like a lot of bad. There is one movie I can't think of. It's white something. It's like a Yakuza film, and it's
like Man in White or something.
Man in White. Yeah. I can never find the DVD. It was real. It came out in the States. Just can't find it in the secondhand market at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ryan, did you watch Deadly Outlaw Rekka? Not
yet.
I hated that movie in my first viewing, and then second time I ended up loving it for some reason. I just
Mike. Some of his films I had to watch multiple times to kind of get into it.
What was both your guys' reactions during Dead or Alive 1 at the end? Because that came out of nowhere.
Well, the first time I saw it, the middle section bothered me a little bit with the whole woman in poop scene.
Yeah,
but
that really bothered me.
That one kind of put me off. But then, like the opening scene with a line of cocaine is so insane, and then the ending scene is just I was like, wow, this movie like recovered very nicely. But I enjoy that one. My favorite's the second one though in that trilogy.
That is good.
No, I was just going to say the third one's terrible, but it's like my type of terrible. You know what I mean?
There are some of these movies that don't have the rapport that some random movies get that I don't understand. Like Dead or Alive is perfect because it is batshit off the wall, completely bonkers movie that nobody talks about. And I don't understand why. You get some of these releases that people are like, I'll never watch that. I'm like, Dead or Alive is so much crazier than this movie that you're saying you don't want to watch again, and nobody ever talks about it.
The opening, it's like a 10-minute opening, right? Where it's just like, that's insane. And then the middle is just
relentless.
It's just like a, I don't know, like standard Yakuza film with poop. And then that scene really bothered me. That scene really bothered me. I was like, I think I told you, I was like, man, this girl's just sitting in her shit. I was it you I was talking to about? Because I forgot who I was talking to. I was like, man,
I feel like a few streams ago we were talking about weird poop scenes in movies because we talked about Solo and this.
Completely. I think this is worse than Solo. I feel for me. Solo's bad, but this movie, just the way she's just sitting there, it's just like the water's like rising and it's like going into her mouth a little bit. It's just, and then the end, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, he pulls out the ball of energy, and I was like, what is this? I couldn't get past the intro in The Dead or Alive because it gave me a headache. Yeah, I think it's supposed to make you feel like you're on cocaine. Just going balls to the wall.
That's Mike for you.
What's your favorite Mike? Non-horror.
Me?
Oh, come on.
I would do Fudo, the new generation.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot. The whole assassin girl who shoots needles out of her nether regions, it speaks to me.
How about you, Ryan?
I'm going to say it's not a horror and it's a romantic comedy, and I'm going to say Audition.
I like to watch it. Told her it was a comedy. Told her it was a romantic comedy.
I really like Lesson to the Evil too.
Yeah, that's an underrated movie. That's like what, 2012?
Yeah.
That's a great movie. Ryan, you should watch that. I think Third Window has a release of that. It's good.
I'm trying to get caught up on some Third Window.
We're such an underrated company.
They really are.
And they've been talking a lot about how they're doing a lot of work. I'm scared that maybe they're going to go away at one point.
Well, their post about piracy was very, very troubling as well.
Oh, here's Dave's. Is there a movie you want to see get a blue or 4K release, and what would you preferred label be for that release?
I would say, because this is my favorite romance, Green Sea from China, and then maybe want to have I don't know. I'd rather have Arrow maybe do it.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if that's not really an Arrow film. It's more like a Criterion type film.
Well, Arrow Academy.
Yeah, Arrow Academy release would be good.
I could see Imprint doing really well with that too.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're right.
Man, that's really tough. I'm trying to think of a movie that deserves that needs a Blu-ray or a 4K release.
You know what I'll say, and I'll keep it on theme with the Asian. I want to see 3 Extremes get a good upgrade. It certainly needs it.
Yeah.
I would say there's a Brutal Tales of Chivalry that Twilight Time put out. It's they only put out the first movie, but there's like 12 of them. And I would love to see Arrow do a box set.
How about a Sleepy Eyes of Death Blu-ray?
Oh man, that deserves an upgrade.
Yeah.
And Amigos, they're doing a Blu-ray movie in November. I forget the movie, but it's a samurai flick. And they said this is an Ice asked them and said, "Hey, is this like a hint of things to come?" And they wrote, "If this does well, we will be releasing more live action on Blu-ray," because they've been kind of just doing anime.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Sleepy Eyes of Death is great. That's a great franchise.
Yeah,
that I think gets overlooked. I mean, because I think not to be mean, but I don't know how to word this without sounding like an asshole, but a lot of fans of samurai movies only know like Zatoichi, Lone Wolf and Cub. There are so many series. Shinobi no Mano, Sleepy Eyes of Death, even TV shows like Lone Wolf and Zatoichi both got their own TV shows. And then what was that Kinji Fukusaku samurai film? It's got Sonny Chiba, Toshiro Mifune, which is amazing that we have both those guys in a movie. But that movie spawned a TV show as well. And Kinji did the first 2 episodes. He directed it. I think it's his only TV work that he did. But yeah, there's so much great stuff. Eric, you got to watch the Lone Wolf TV show.
Yeah, I do. I haven't seen it.
And if you want, just skip to the last season, because the last season is basic. I was telling Ryan this. It's basically the final battle. It's the entire final battle. Like every episode is just them fighting almost.
So it's basically what we didn't get from the films.
Well, so what had happened was Lone Wolf and Cub was supposed to be like Zatoichi. They were gonna continue to just crank out movies, and what's his name? Washashiro. I'm really bad with Japanese names, but the main actor, whose brother is Shintaro Katsu, who's Zatoichi, they said, "Hey, we're going to do a TV show," and he said, "I want to be the lead," because he wanted to be he wanted to have a franchise just like his brother. And I don't know if you've read the manga, but the movies to the manga are very different tonally. He doesn't even look like Lone Wolf in the movies. So they said, "No, we want to make the TV show more accurate to the manga, to the source, so you're not going to be the actor. And he said, well, if that happens, if I'm not the actor, I'll never do another Lone Wolf and Cub movie. And that's why the conflict is never finished.
Wow.
This was supposed to be a big franchise.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck you guys. But he did come back for the TV movie, because there's 3 other movies in the Lone Wolf and Cubs. There's Baby Cart 7, The Final Conflict. And there's 2 made-for-TV movies. And he plays the main villain. The guy who plays Lone Wolf plays the villain in the 92 movie. And it's really weird to see him in that role. Because in that movie, Lone Wolf like cries a lot. And he's very emotional. Like, it's very weird. It's like emo Lone Wolf and Cub. It's not. It's very weird. It's like if you listen to like My Chemical Romance. It's just like, it's very bizarre. What would you think if Funimation bought Discotek? No, I would. Zero. That's probably not going to happen. No, I'm friends with most of those guys, and I don't think it would be good. One, also, I don't think Discotek's private, so that there's no like stock reason for another company to come in and be like, hey, we're gonna buy you up. Yeah, no, that would be terrible. Funimation sucks. They're terrible. It'd be like if Sony came in and bought Criterion or something, or Arrow. Probably wouldn't bode very well. Eric, what's your favorite label?
Label. That's kind of hard. I'm not as much of a label guy. I just buy the movies. But I do. Recently, I've been buying a lot of Arrow and a lot of Eureka. That's all I know. Yeah. I'm kind of hoping Error 4444 continues to take off, because a lot of their things that they've announced seem really interesting and off the wall. I used to like Tartan a lot, Tartan Asia Extreme a lot back in the day.
Definitely.
Ryan, I'm sure we could guess, but who's your favorite?
I genuinely don't have like a number one favorite. I genuinely love Arrow for a number of reasons. I love Scream Factory to a point, but Scream Factory I really only love because of the nostalgia through some of their titles, and really what they go for is like those mainstream titles or mainstream adjacent titles. And Arrow has been just a big like bucket of discovery for me, which is in many cases a lot more important. But then I also adore Vinegar Syndrome and the care and everything they put into it. But they're more so for the actual process of everything, since they are the archive for all of this. And the only reason we're getting physical media from them is because they're putting the heart and soul to make sure that physical media survives as long as possible.
When do you think we're going to get a Nightmare on Elm Street chicked out set?
I do think it'll be soon. I think that we are probably not looking at 2022, but I'm thinking 2023.
Okay.
And the only thing I'm thinking is if there is ever another movie that comes out, which supposedly there is a script floating around that has been approved by the Craven estate. If that ever happens, undoubtedly it will happen that year.
How'd you feel about the newest one?
I did not hate the actor that played the villain. It was decent. I think the overall storyline of making it this moody teen drama at the heart of it was one of the biggest problems. Yeah. It made it not to be punny on purpose necessarily, but it was a very sleepy movie, and that's not what Nightmare on Elm Street is meant to be. Nightmare on Elm Street is meant to be gross, and eventually it's meant to be kind of quick-witted and dark and sadistic in a way that is black comedy at the heart, and there was none of that present in the remake.
If I was king of the world, I would sign one director to do a Friday the 13th film and a Nightmare on Elm Street film, and that is Panos Cosmatos, gentlemen. have him do both films.
Oh man,
baby!
Have him do a Freddy vs. Jason sequel.
I wouldn't mind that. Yeah.
Any fans of that movie? I think it's my favorite.
Which one?
Those.
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah, I like it.
I can't believe that they got a Hong Kong director. It's wild to me. It's just a wild choice. Like, there could, not that he did a bad job, but like, there's so many other choices you could have gone, especially at that time.
Yeah.
You just go. I think Raimi would have been a great choice for that movie.
Yeah.
But you just picked.
Absolutely.
Is it Ronnie Yu?
Yeah.
It's just Ronnie Yu, and just it's fucking awesome. I love that movie. It's got some great fight scenes. Does Eric have a collection video we can check out?
There's like 80 of them. So I hope you have time.
And he's not being facetious.
There's 80.
I have referred people to Eric's channel countless times. The way that he is speaking tonight on this stream is the main reason that I refer people to his channel constantly, and that's because he will review a movie for you or teach you about an entire genre or era of cinema in a way that makes you feel like I actually understand it. And it's not somebody, no offense to film scholars or critics or whatever that do it for a living, but they're trying to outclass themselves as they speak to you. And Eric is only making you feel the passion that he has for these films, and he is great at his job.
Have you ever tried like doing something in the field? Because you are like, just like Ryan said, you're great.
I would not have what it takes to do critic level reviews. I think
you would be great at commentaries.
Maybe if I had a chance to like really research the film. But like when I started my channel, I had to make that decision. Like there's another channel called Cinema Nippon who review Japanese. They're phenomenal. Like I could never be that good because they're really detailed on every film. So I was like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do that? And I was like, nah, because the only advantage I have over anyone is just the volume of films I've seen. So I would focus on volume, giving recommendations, and just getting an overall view of like the output of the industry. So that's kind of what I focus on.
And for those of you who don't know, Cinema Nippon is just they used to go into a box set from Arrow, Ryan, and they would review every film in the box set in an individual video that's like 15 plus minutes. Just insane. They're great, but I think the best quality as well is that you have your voice is very like it's nice to listen to, but you have a very dry sense of humor. So like when you tell a joke, it like hits a little bit different as if I were to tell a joke. It's just a lot. It's a lot better. I think your videos are great. Even before I started a YouTube channel, because I was originally doing anime and manga, before I even did a YouTube channel, I would watch your videos like crazy, just to get new recommendations. I actually have notifications for your videos texted to my phone.
Nice.
Because there was a period in my life where I was single, and I would be like, I need a recommendation, and I like Asian movies, so I would watch. There was a period for like maybe 6 months. I watched every movie that you did a review on. And you're
not normal. Thank you.
Well, I'm not normal. I'm sure Ryan can attest to that, and my wife.
True.
I'm not normal at all. Last night we watched Tale of Two Sisters, and I immediately put on I think what's the movie? It's a Bud Bedecker Randolph Scott film, and it's just like an old 50s western. And my wife's like, "What the fuck? What a weird just like a weird like going from one thing to another. You're just a weirdo."
I like doing that though. Like I'll start a night with like a Yasujiro Ozu film, and then I'll go to like a Tony Jaa brainless action flick to finish it off.
Now, before you go to bed, do you want the action movie or do you want the Ozu like film, like Pinky's Up? You're going to be watching this movie.
Usually, if I were going to do a double feature, I would do the slower paced film first.
Absolutely.
What's the best double feature you guys have done?
First time viewing or repeat?
Just overall, like you did a double feature one night, and you're like, shit, that was a blast.
The Raid 1 and 2 is big.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. I do that regularly.
My most enjoyable one, one of the local theaters here in Kansas City does a Carpenter Fest every year, and I love John Carpenter, but I didn't grow up obviously during that time when I could go to everything in the theater, and they usually show a triple feature. And the first year I went, they showed Assault on Precinct 13, followed by The Prince of Darkness, and then ended the night with In the Mouth of Madness. And it
Ooh.
was such a 1-2-3 punch of just. For some reason, those movies, they hit differently when you're immersed in the giant screen in a room full of people that enjoy those types of cinema.
I think that's what, because I think the movies that I watch regularly, like Lone Wolf and Cub, I could see Ryan's eyes roll in the back of his head when we started talking about Lone Wolf, because I legitimately love those movies. Is that they are better with a group, like the crowd reactions are just better. But my favorite double feature is my wife was at her mom's, and one night I watched Baby Car at the River Styx, which is my go-to comfort food movie, which is a little weird because it's a very violent movie, but that's like my go-to. I love that movie. I know it like the back of my hand. And then Django, finish it off with Django.
Yeah,
it's a perfect little. And I was telling Ryan this. All my favorite genres, like the ones I mainly collect, they're very similar. Like kung fu movies, westerns, and samurai flicks are all very, very similar. And I like that structure. I like the one bad, like the badass guy who's overpowered and just whatever setting.
The other stuff, Italian movies make great freaking double. I like Demons 1 and 2, Zombie 2 and 3, any two Dario Argento films. Yeah, I love that, doing that.
So I've told Ryan this, but my grandparents are from Sicily and they don't speak English at all. My grandfather knows I shoot you, you dummy, and fuck you. Like that's pretty much what he knows. But they have a giant satellite in their backyard, and they get Italian TV. And growing up at their house, I loved spending the night with them because I would watch TV with them, and they would fall asleep on the couch, and then I would flip it. There was always a channel that just played Giallo late at night as a young kid, and I'd be like glued to the TV. And that's another genre that's very formulaic. But
Absolutely.
what they're able to do with it is so creative and fun. I love that stuff.
I would have loved to have grown up on Giallo films and Hong Kong movies, man. That would have been great.
It was pretty good. I still remember my mom found one of the employees one year bought me 36 Chambers. I want to say Legendary Weapons of China and Grand Theft Auto Vice City. And she was furious. She was like, "Who got you this?" And I was like, "Oh," and they also gave me a couple of penthouses and Playboys.
Dude, that's a treasure trove.
They were the employees are that group of employees. We love them so much. We treat them like family that they signed the wall at the restaurant. So there's a wall back there that says the 04 Mofos because the 04 is when they graduated high school, and it's got all their signatures. They were awesome. Count Yorga. Frogs and children shouldn't play with dead things.
That's an incredible triple feature.
That's nuts. My comfort is Soderbergh's Ocean's 11. Did you see the new Soderbergh film?
The one that just came out?
Yeah.
No, not his brand new one yet.
It's good, but it's weird, like because you know how he does like weird camera stuff.
Yeah.
He used like a fisheye lens or something in this movie, like a lot of the time. So like a lot of characters will like come in screen and like their head's ginormous and like the rest of them's normal until they get to the center. Like it's really weird. But I thought it was great. I'm just a big Benicio del Toro fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome, especially in Sicario.
Yeah,
he just kills those children. I was like, what the fuck? That movie, man. Sicario is so good. It's one of the only movies my dad likes. My dad likes Tombstone, Zero Dark 30, Sicario,
and When Harry Met Sally.
My dad's a big When Harry Met Sally fan. What's the other bad comedy from the early 2000s?
Early 2000s.
The email one where they like email each other.
You Got Mail.
You Got Mail. My dad's a big You Got Mail fan.
Huh?
Which my dad is a scary looking guy. He's very stern too. He has a really deep voice and he doesn't get sarcasm at all. Like he doesn't get jokes. So I constantly fuck with him. And he just thinks I'm being rude. He's like, that's no way to talk to your dad. You fucking piece of shit. He says that. My dad talks like Clint Eastwood to me. He's great. He is my best friend though. My dad's awesome. He's a good guy. And I've told Ryan this. He's weirdly woke for a 60-year-old. He's a very woke guy, but he says the wrong verbiage. His heart's in the right place. So like when George Floyd died, my dad was like, "This is ridiculous. The cops need to quit killing all the blacks." I'm like, "Your heart's there. Your heart's there, buddy. You just gotta word that a little differently, and you're golden." And he's like, "All right," but he tries. He tries. We hired a trans person, and my dad came to me and he was like, "What do I do?" And I was like, "He's like, how do I be respectful?" And I was like, "That's awesome," because I don't know what other people his age would be like that.
Yep.
At least he tries. And then it's just, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling about my dad. he's got some health issues, and I like talking about it. It's really cute how he interacts with my kid, because he's so stern, but with her, he's like, oh. And she's like, "Come on, no, let's go." And my daughter mentioned in passing that she wanted an easy bake oven. And tonight my parents called me like, "Hey, we bought her an easy bake oven." I'm like, "You guys spoil the fuck out of her."
You just brought up that she called you to get McDonald's and you'd left work to go get her McDonald's.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I am such a pushover for my daughter. It's just. Do you guys have a PS5?
No.
So there's a game that came with it called Astro's Robot Playroom, and it's just like a cute little platformer. It's a free throw-in game. I have like 80 hours in that game because all she wants to do is watch me play. She doesn't even want to play it. She wants to watch me play the game. I hate that fucking game. I was talking to Taylor. I go, "We should sell the PS5." And she was like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Because I don't want to play that fucking game anymore. Just get it out of the house."
Actually, it's football season. I got to break out my Super Nintendo, play some Tecmo Bowl.
Are you a football guy?
Yeah, I watch football every Sunday. I go hang out with my family and we watch football games.
Who's your team?
See, I don't really have a team. Every year I change based on the players. So if a douchebag player goes on a team, I'm not going to root for that team.
So who's the team you're rooting for this year?
Well, I got to go with the Bills, I guess.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Bills are looking good. They're looking really good.
Yeah.
How about
That's what they said in the 90s too.
Yeah.
How about you, Ryan? Are you a football guy?
I've never been a football guy, but moving to Kansas City, it's real easy to get immersed in sports.
Yeah, dude. Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey, they're great. Man.
And I grew up on baseball and I fell away for years. And then we moved here in 2013. And that was the year after Kansas City hosted the All-Star game. And then 2013, they started getting decent. And people were like, "Oh, the Royals are, they're not the worst team ever right now." And then the next year, they made it to the World Series out of nowhere. And they almost took it. And then the following year, they did take it. And it just took the city by storm. And it was crazy being in the city and seeing a level of unity that I've never been able to experience in my life ever. It was insanity around here.
Which is good. I mean,
yeah. It was a great thing.
But yeah, my dad moved to Colorado when he was 18, and he's a diehard Broncos fan. So Broncos are looking good this year, but as a lifelong Broncos fan, I'm used to the first couple games looking really good, and then the rest of the season is just awful. But I really like Tom Brady. I don't like him. I like that he makes people angry with how good he is. So I root for Brady on Facebook just to get people's goat, just to get people to be like, "Fuck Brady." And I'm just like, he's got 7 rings. For every day of the week.
I nailed it down because back in the day when the Bills were making Super Bowls, I was rooting against them and I couldn't figure out why. I'm like, I hate this freaking team. Like, I hated them. And the reason is because sports fans in general are kind of obnoxious.
Yes.
And because a lot of the people I was with were Bills fans, I'm like, I don't want to root for the same. I want to see these people suffer. So I rooted against the team because of that.
Exactly.
Isn't that weird?
Do you guys watch any other sports? Because I'm a big MMA fan. I watch every UFC, every Bellator, boxing. I love that stuff.
I don't really watch anything else. Movies take up too much. Movies and other stuff or too much time.
I used to be super into baseball, but not so much anymore again.
My wife's really into baseball. She still listens to the radio. Like she has like a app that plays radio games. I'm like, that's like a weird thing of baseball culture is radio baseball. Like that, I can't think of another.
I've even done that this year. Yeah.
Oh Jesus. But that's like a weird like part of baseball history is the radio aspect to it. You know, it's kind of like when Biden brought back fireside chats. People were like, "Woo!" It's like, when the fuck is the last time you listened to a fireside chat? Who's that for? As an Australian, when you say rooting, it means a whole different. I want to know what that means.
I don't know if I want to know.
Ryan's Ice is a Cardinals fan.
Yeah, we don't have to, support people that are watching, right?
Ice is great. Ice is one of the coolest dudes ever, too. Which team were you a fan of? In baseball or
maybe me when I was rooting against the Bills, maybe back in the day. Well, because I was rooting against the Bills, I'd have to root for a divisional team. So I would root for the Dolphins despite them.
The Dolphins almost made a whole year of undefeated. And they go undefeated, went to the Super Bowl and lost?
No, that was the Patriots.
No, that was the Dolphins too.
No, they had an undefeated season one year.
Back in the 80s, they had an undefeated season, yeah.
Or it was 70s maybe? Or I forgot when, yeah.
I'm just glad that Brady is an anime character. He's not good looking. He's not athletic. He's just got a stupid, powerful arm, and he's intelligent, and he married like the hottest woman in the world. Like he's an anime hero brought to real life.
And his wife makes more money than he does.
I know. It's so fucking crazy. Stop saying rooting. Let's go root some girls.
Okay.
What does root mean? Like drug them? What do you Australians do? Is it beanie, meaty, or an oil substitute they call chili?
I think he's asking about Kansas chili.
How is Kansas chili? What is it?
I don't know anything special about Kansas chili. The only thing I know that's odd is that the Midwest culture, I don't know if you have it up there by you, Flip, but there are people around here that eat cinnamon rolls with chili on it.
Ugh.
Wait, what?
And it sounds
excuse me?
awful.
No.
Yeah. I've not tried it, but it's a Midwest thing.
Huh. Well, I guess you don't know unless you try it.
The big thing around Kansas City is barbecue. That's the main thing.
Yeah. Here it's people I'm sorry, but if you're from Chicago pizza fucking sucks.
You know, like the deep dish, right?
It's not even like just like because like we have deep dish, we have like thick crust.
Oh, okay.
It's just something about Chicago pizza. Like I don't want to eat soup. You know what I mean? Like it's a soup. It's fucking. It's like it's like a glorified bread bowl from fucking Panera. Is what Chicago pizza is. It's terrible, and everyone who comes to our pizza place who's from Chicago is so obnoxious. They have to let you know. They're like, I'm from Chicago. I know what real pizza is. I'm from Chicago. It's like, who gives a fuck? You just shut up and order the pizza. If you like it, you come back. If you don't come back.
Right.
So, Eric, is there any weird regional stuff where you're from, like food-wise?
Well, pizza and wings, man.
Pizza and wings? Wings are good. Wings are expensive.
Yeah.
Like, weirdly expensive. Especially with how COVID has treated the production.
Yeah.
We ran out of one month. We ran out of pork and chicken, and now we're out of veal. We can't find veal anywhere. It sucks because that was a seller. Was our veal parmesan? Cuban pizza has cinnamon in it. What the fuck?
You got to think about it. Like mole in Mexican culture has dark chocolate in it. There's all kinds of situations where the sweet and savory.
Good. Mole is weird, but it's good.
Yep.
It's like because you can't really taste the full chocolate in it.
Not at all. It just makes it like a deep flavor.
It's good. In Sicily, they used to kill rabbits, and they would put chocolate on the rabbit. So you would have like a cooked rabbit with chocolate on it. It was really good.
I kind of like rabbit, but
I like rabbit.
You know what? I love duck. Duck is awesome.
Amazing, dude. A good,
talk about underrated,
perfectly cooked duck. Oh, Have you ever had duck?
No.
Have you ever had frog raw?
No.
Oh, so good.
Foie gras on a burger is phenomenal.
Oh man, it's so good, dude. God. Eric's my type of foodie. Fuck
Yeah.
I grew up on buffalo. That was the craziest thing.
Buffalo is great.
Yeah.
Yep.
What is the craziest thing you guys have eaten? Like just the most bizarre.
I go to a Korean place around the corner from my house like twice a week, especially in the wintertime because the soups are phenomenal. And I asked her in the summertime one time, like, give me some crazy stuff. So she gave me some crazy stuff. I didn't really like most of it. I had silkworm larva. Not bad when it's hot, but once it cools down, you don't want to eat it.
I don't want to eat it when it's hot.
chicken feet. I couldn't even eat it. I'm like, how am I supposed to eat this?
I love the chicken feet, man.
Really?
So there's a really nice Korean restaurant here, and their chicken feet's great.
Oh, maybe she didn't cook it right.
Pickled fried chicken feet. It's so good.
I do like blood sausage. It's a little weird. You get that iron taste in it, but I do like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I like blood sausage, but I'm not a big fan of liver.
Oh, I love
it.
They
both have that iron taste to it.
They do.
I've had cow tongue in Japan. It was actually pretty good.
I was talking earlier about my friends who are they're from the Philippines. Their whole family, like all the Filipinos that live in the area, every Sunday they get together at one of their houses and they roast an entire pig. And one day they brought us the head and dude, the tongue, the cheek meat.
The cheek is so good.
Yeah, cheek.
So good. And the brain, delicious.
I don't think I've ever had brains.
I've had brains twice, and it wouldn't do it again. I don't think I would do it again.
Actually, kangaroo burgers are good. Kangaroo was mentioned in the chat. Kangaroo burgers are actually pretty good.
I've had a bite of kangaroo too. I'd say it's pretty good.
I really want to try a horse. I heard Japan has like horse meat.
I've never had it.
It sounds good. I think shark. My dad got some shark patties, like some shark steaks, and it was weird. There was like most of it was like white meat, but there was like a little section with black meat in it, and the white meat was delicious. It was really tender. It tasted like almost like a tuna steak, but like it had a less fishy taste to it. But then the black part was just disgusting. I don't even know what it was. I've had some shark fin soup.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I thought it was all right.
Bird's nest soup I've had too.
Is that good?
It was pretty good.
I saw that in an Anthony Bourdain episode, and I was like, "Oh, it looks like snot." What's it taste like?
It's the broth I think is egg based too, so it's I don't know. It just tastes. I don't know. It just tastes it. The whole thing tasted almost kind of like a yolky type broth, but I liked it.
That's a weird thing to be like, "Hey, let's take this thing that's something's home and eat it."
And do you know how they make the nest?
How?
The birds regurgitate the nest up. I think that's how it's made.
Oh, flip!
I'm pretty sure.
Is there any meat in there or anything?
Meat?
Yeah, is there like a meat in there to like offset the fucking snot texture?
I don't remember.
I don't.
A lot of times I think it's just like a yolky type thing.
So Risa, her cousin, who is fresh off the boat from the Philippines, he was working at the restaurant because he was supposed to go to college in Florida, but he came here first and then COVID hit, and he's been stuck here for 2 years. So he started working in the restaurant, and we were just talking, and I go, "What's the weirdest thing you've eaten?" And he's like, "Dog." He's like, "I love it." And I'm like, "Really?" And I'm like, "You know that's a stereotype here in America, right?" And he's like, "No." He had no idea that was like a stereotype. It was just a normal thing. He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "That smells awful. Tastes delicious." So he said it tastes like lamb, like real gamey.
Oh, come on. Lamb is freaking delicious. I would question him on that. I haven't had dog, but that would surprise me if it's as good as lamb.
Would you guys eat a dog?
Probably not willingly.
I don't know, man. There's something about it. It'd be like cat or something, you know.
Sometimes I would cook my dog. She's annoying. I think I would eat a dog. I had some marlin after catching it doing deep sea fishing in Hawaii.
Ooh.
That sounds great.
That sounds good.
Dogfest still happens. Not a fan. I think that's a brave stance, Ogie. Not a fan.
I love that he threw out the pun up there that says kangaroo is hopping.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how Ogie talks. Because Ogie and I, he's probably my best friend. He's one of my best friends. We talk almost nightly, and he's very punny, but he's very monotone. So his puns hit extra harder. Like I love when people are monotone. Kind of like Norm, Norm Donald that passed away.
Okay.
He was great. Willie Nelson is against eating horse. Why? That's a weird fact. That's a weird fact to be like, did you know? Willie Nelson, not a fan of eating horses.
Somebody asked if he wanted any, and he said nay.
Are you fucking serious? Who? Did Ogie say nay?
I was just making a horse
No.
Hey, get out of here. So, Eric, what's your favorite television show?
I gotta watch a lot more TV. It's such a time investment. I mean, there's a few Asian ones. There's a Korean one called Jumong, which is just phenomenal. It's like a period piece, like action drama. There's a Japanese one called Liar Game that's really cool. It's almost like gambling, where like you have a group of people and there's like a specific type of game that's being played, and you think it's just based on chance, but they break it down after the fact of how you could guarantee a win, and you know, so it's really cool. And then like American, I actually really liked the first 5 seasons of 24. My boy Jack Bauer just taking names, baby.
Speaking of those type of shows, I started watching The Shield based off Ryan's recommendation, and my dad walked by and he goes, "Is that The Shield?" And my dad doesn't watch TV, or at least I didn't think. And he was like, "I fucking love that show." I was like, "Damn, it's good. The Shield is great."
I saw parts. It disturbed me, so I didn't finish it. But
disturbed you?
It's very gritty.
Yeah, there's a scene. There's one scene I had trouble making it past in a bedroom with a gun, and yeah.
So wait, The Shield on was it FX bothered you, but you've watched Tumbling Doll of Flesh?
Well, I think that's why. It's because it was on TV, so I was not expecting them to go that far, and they went pretty far in a few episodes.
That's actually a good topic. Has there been a scene in a movie that otherwise, if you went in knowing something like that would happen, it wouldn't shock you, but it took you by surprise and it was more disturbing because of that?
Actually, you know what? House of a Thousand Corpses. When I went into that movie, I was ready for schlock, like B grade, like really. I wasn't expecting it to be as mean-spirited as it was, so that kind of threw me off guard a little. That one a little bit.
That movie is a masterpiece.
Have you heard my story with House of a Thousand Corpses on the stream?
Oh, is that the one where you hit it and then your mother found out that you were watching it for like 5 years later on?
Yeah. Well, her best friend took me to see it. Not that we went to the theater and the movie we saw had already started or whatever. So she called and was like, "Can I take him to see House of a Thousand Corpses?" Mom's like, "Is it appropriate?" And she goes, I think so. And then I was like 11. I love that movie, dude. That movie rocks. Whoa, Dr. Satan. Whoa, Dr. Satan. For me, I think is when I first started watching samurai films in general, every single one has a sexual assault in it. There's always a woman getting every single one. And it's to the point where my wife goes, "I don't think you like samurais. I think you just like seeing women get assaulted." Because it's like every movie. It's just also just Tiro Ishii in general. Like when I first started watching his films, I wasn't ready for what was on there. Especially, is it Infernos of Torture where they're crucified?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, that one fucked me up pretty bad. I was like, what the fuck? And then that torture sequence is in Silence by Martin Scorsese.
That's another film that needs a release. The original Silence, 1971 from Japan, from Masahiro Shinoda. It's a great flick.
Is Martin Scorsese's version a remake?
Mm-hmm. Or an adaptation of the same source material.
Fun fact: the people that went over there weren't. I think are they like British or Scottish in the Martin Scorsese movie? In real life, they were Sicilian. So, fuck yeah, my culture, baby. we don't have much. We have the Cosa Nostra, which was the entire mafia, but yeah. Are you guys excited for the Sopranos movie?
I've never seen the show.
Me neither.
I can't be friends with either of you guys now. We have to.
Mine is on purpose. I was waiting. I knew that they were adapting the movie, and I've told you before. My wife grew up sheltered like hell. I had to show her Jurassic Park for the first damn time. That is a movie that makes somebody's childhood, and I had to be like, here, you're almost 30. Let's learn about Nedry. I mean, she had no idea about anything from that movie, so I had to show her that. And there's certain shows that are fundamentals of childhood that she just has never seen.
My wife just started watching Harry Potter. First time. Because it was witchcraft. You can't witchcraft. That's bad. What would God think? Me and Ryan grew up similarly, and our wives were both extremely sheltered as well. My wife's from a very small town, and she had never seen Star Wars, Lord of the Rings. Her first and only Star Wars movie, I think, is the second new one. Was it The Last Jedi? Terrible movie. Ryan Johnson sucks.
My wife has still never seen any of the Star Wars movies.
That's probably for the better. They suck. It's the worst franchise. I just don't get it. Mandalorian, though, is good. What's the thing that you guys don't get that's huge or has a fan base?
Two Towers and Return of the King.
Ooh,
I loved Fellowship. Very nicely paced. Went to Two Towers in the cinema. It was excruciating. I couldn't stand that movie.
Really?
The whole Gollum character, I can't. Yeah, I couldn't do it. And then I'm glad I didn't see Return of the King in the theater because I was standing by my DVD player for an hour waiting for it to finish. So yeah, I would have walked out on that movie.
That bad?
Yeah.
Man, that's the hottest take I think we've had on the show, Ryan.
It probably is.
I mean, that's up there with me thinking Stalker is a piece of shit. How about you, Ryan?
Probably anything related to the Star Trek franchise. It has just none of them have ever clicked with me. The shows, the movies, none of it. And I've tried consistently.
I could see that.
You don't like the J.J. Abrams ones?
The first one, like, I could see it as an entertaining popcorn flick for people that aren't into movies, really. But no, there was not much merits to it.
For me, I just don't like J.J. Abrams. Like, I don't get when like his name is attached to something, people are like, oh! It's like I don't get it. I hate him. I hope he fucking dies. I'm just kidding. That's terrible.
I think he's good at like moving past stuff so fast you don't realize how bad it is when you first watch it. And then over time, his films almost always degrade with time.
That's true.
I feel like J.J. Abrams is Walmart brand Michael Bay.
Yeah. I think Michael Bay, but minus the Transformers movies, is a good director.
I would actually agree, yeah.
I think he just made himself a meme by doing terrible. Because that one movie about Benghazi is actually a good movie.
Oh yeah.
And he's just such a shitlord. I don't know. I don't get Star Wars. I get Star Trek just because there's a lot more of it, I feel like. And I feel like there's a lot more to base a fan base around it. But like Star Wars is what, 9 movies? And a handful of like random stuff?
Just 11 movies.
Yeah, with the spinoff, or the
Rogue One.
Yeah.
That's the only one I really love. I love Rogue One. But then again, that's Hollywood once again wasting Donnie in a movie.
His best role was Triple X, baby. Return of Xander Cage.
I love the Triple X.
I like that movie.
I actually like those movies. There's something we don't have those anymore. We don't have those goofy fun, like we have the Netflix ones, like Extraction, but Extraction's like too tonally serious. Like I miss those old Van Damme stupid movies.
Well, everybody just puts their money into superhero films and like the big franchises now. So
that's similarly like I love True Lies. True Lies was a big favorite of mine growing up.
Awesome.
What's a guilty pleasure movie? Well, wait, we already do that question?
I think so.
Yeah. Who's an actor that you can't stand that they just ruin a movie for you? Mine's Tom Cruise outside of Mission Impossible.
Really? Okay.
I can't agree with that because he is a shitty person, but he is a crazy great actor.
Yeah, that's a hard question. Who?
I can't take God, what's his name? The guy in Gunpowder Milkshake, the main villain, Paul Giamatti. I can't take him seriously. He's just on screen, and I'm like, you just look like every bald Italian. Do you have one, Ryan? Your mic's muted, buddy. Someone said Rob Zombie's wife, and I can agree with that. I still can't hear you. Let me see if I can unmute you manually. Oh,
I got one. Lynn Shay. Don't like her at all.
Who?
Lynn Shay. She's the lady who pops into the Insidious films, the older lady.
Am I good now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are good now.
The only reason Lynn Shay got half of her roles is because of her brother.
I don't know. Every time she shows up, I can't stand her. I don't know.
The one I was going to say is, other than the obvious role that is attached to him, for the most part, it's Hugh Jackman. I just can't
really.
He seems like such a good guy. I think I like root for him. Will Smith, I don't like Will Smith. Like a few roles, like Wild Wild West, Pursuit of Happiness. I think those are good movies. But I'm so glad that they didn't pick him for The Matrix because he was going to be Neo.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
With Sean Connery, I think, right?
I think it was supposed to be Will Smith, and there was another big one. Maybe it was Sean Connery.
Because I remember Sean Connery says stories like, I read the script and I couldn't make sense of it.
That's exactly what it was.
And I asked, come on, the guy who plays Morpheus.
Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah, he's like, I asked Lawrence Fishburne, what's this Matrix movie? And he didn't frickin' know either. I heard him say that.
Lawrence Fishburne's an underrated actor.
Absolutely.
He's so good. When he shows up in Predators, I was like, yeah, like he's so fucking awesome. I love Lawrence Fishburne. Hey, I'll be right back. You guys handle the show.
Dang, we've been on here for 2.5 hours. That is the longest we've done, I think, in like a month.
I've done longest one I did was 5 hours.
Woo!
Last year. It was an exploitation live stream with a touch of film. I don't think I'll break that.
I watch that.
Yeah, it was very inappropriate. It's still on YouTube though.
I've gone back and loved your yearly horror roundups on some of the ones that you've done.
Oh
like
yeah,
2016 horror. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Had a family member call me. It was a little strange.
Somebody asking for McDonald's?
No, she's in bed. Thank God. She goes to bed at 9. That's why we start the show at 9 because she's. When I used to stream like during the day, she would come in, and she would be like, "I want to talk," and then she would just be like saying the same 2 things. She's really obsessed with. I think every kid does it. Picking their nose, and I taught her to say, "I'm digging for gold." So when Taylor yells at her, she's like, "Bridget, don't do that." She goes, "I'm digging for gold, mommy." And then Taylor's like, "Fleepo," and I'm like, "Sorry." What are your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers?
I responded there. I said the director should rot in hell, but that doesn't mean we can't enjoy the movies now.
Yeah.
The movies got ruined because of that for me. But then I'm also a hypocrite because I love Rurouni Kenshin, and the creator of that franchise got caught with child porn. So it's like,
Yeah, if you look at any big movie with a bunch of people,
There's going to be
I don't feel like doing a background check every time I watch a flick. There's always going to be some shady person.
exactly.
that's true.
So I've actually gone the opposite, where I just don't even care anymore.
I mean, I'm not gonna ever watch a Kevin Spacey movie again. I love him. I think he's a great actor. I don't love him. Let's take that back. I like him as an actor.
Yeah, I'm still gonna watch LA Confidential and stuff.
He's a little weird now. Have you seen his YouTube channel?
Nope.
No.
He uploaded, so like when he got fired from House of Cards, like a year after the show ended, he uploaded a video of him in character as Frank Underwood doing like, he's like, I know you guys want me back. I was like, some really, let me see if I can pull it. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey.
I know some people used to cover movies. A few people, and they got kind of like, they did some interviews, got involved with the industry a little bit, and they just bailed. They're like, I don't know about some of these people.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I can't fault them at all. There's plenty of people that have done a lot of wrong things, but the pendulum goes both ways.
Yeah.
There's no reason to absolutely, turn around and say, I will never watch any movies from this person again.
Look how.
Just what about all the other people that were good that worked on the film too, right?
Right. And they deserve our money as well.
Yeah.
Look how bizarre this is.
I know what you want. Oh, sure, they may have tried to separate us, but what we have is too strong, it's too powerful. I mean, after all, we shared everything, you and I.
It's that for 3 minutes. It's fucking bizarre. That is the weirdest shit ever.
I feel violated.
Well, a lot of people have when it comes to Kevin Spacey. So, so you can just join the club. Yeah, like when he put that out, I was like, this can't be real. He can't be serious. An apology video in character. I think he is Daniel Day-Lewis.
And it sucks because he's genuinely great in a lot of roles.
Oh,
Yeah.
good, man. Usual Suspects.
Yeah.
Baby Driver, Seven.
He's great in Baby Driver, man. But then also, didn't the actor in Baby Driver do something shitty too? Baby,
The kid?
Yeah, the kid did something. He did
I lose track of this stuff, dude.
some kind of sexual.
It's like every day something comes out.
Yeah, that's true. It's like every actor. It's like
Not Keanu. Not Keanu though.
I would be heartbroken.
Yeah.
Keanu. So Eric, are you a fan of John Wick?
Oh yeah.
How are you feeling with the fourth one?
Well, the one thing that left a bad taste in my mouth was the ending of the third one. I did not like the last 5 minutes. But the rest of the film is sweet. So I'm a little bit worried that they're just going to start jumping the shark and it's going to go fast and furious. But if they keep it grounded enough and they take it seriously, I mean, the other thing is it's getting to be like Destroy All Monsters syndrome if they keep adding people to it. Because, some of these guys are just going to be in the film for like a minute. You know what I mean? So what's
the issue that you have with the last 5 minutes?
It turns into just full-blown Looney Tunes. I mean, when he falls off the building, he goes on the concrete. I'm like, really? I'm like, this is like a nuclear bomb going off and being protected by a refrigerator.
I took it as Winston knows Wick has a bulletproof shirt on, a bulletproof jacket. He's got his tactical suit, and he shot him and knew that it wasn't going to kill him. And then together they're going to take on the high table. But I do agree with you. And I was telling Ryan this in one episode. It's too good to be true that all of these people are in this fucking movie together. Donnie Yen, Hiroyuki Sanada, Scott Adkins.
Yeah.
It's too good to be true. And then they fired Derek Holstad, who wrote the first three movies. And the third one, I think, is the weakest in the writing. And it's because Lionsgate made two other people write with him.
Mm-hmm.
And now those two people are writing the fourth one. So, I'm a little worried. I like the jumpy sharkness of Fast and the Furious, but for John Wick, it's just the right amount of stupid.
Right.
It's like if
Right.
and if it doesn't tote that line, it could become really dumb.
Like, yeah, it could be Freddy's Dead, the final nightmare.
I don't get the reference.
You just go over the top, where the groundedness and the horror, you know what I mean, it gets drawn out completely, and you're left with just comedy, over the top nonsense.
Oh, and Lawrence Fishburne's going to be in it too. Like that movie, like the fourth one is just too much. I think Skarsgård's in it. The guy from Dune, who's in Dune right now, I think he's in it too. Like it's just too good to be true. I kind of want to do a video with everybody and do a John Wick versus Havoc, which is Gareth Evans' next film.
Ooh.
Which I've talked about before as well, is that I'm afraid it'll fall to Netflix syndrome. Netflix hasn't done a perfect action movie that they've produced. They bought the rights to The Night Comes For Us.
Right. And Rurouni Kenshin, yeah.
But they haven't produced a good action movie. Extraction has moments.
Yeah.
Which, did you guys know Extraction is the most viewed movie on Netflix? 99 million people watched Extraction.
Wow. It's kind of surprising.
That was my reaction, Ryan.
Yeah,
it is. Like, what?
Why?
Exactly. I guess Chris Hemsworth, but I didn't realize he was that big of a draw.
That's a massive draw.
It's the most, actually, we can just pull up a list.
I did enjoy the film though, but
the most viewed Netflix movies of all time as of July 21st, 2021. Turn off my ad blocker. Well, I guess unblock. I guess I got to turn off this ad blocker. Damn. Here we go. All right. Yeah. I'll share the list. This is actually surprising. I didn't realize half of these movies were this big. We got number 1. We got Fatherhood. Have you guys seen this?
No.
74 million views. Project Power, 75 million. This one was bad. I did not like this movie. Army of the Dead, 75 million views.
Already.
And Zack Snyder for you. He's got a fan base.
Enola Holmes, 76. The Old Guard, 78 million. Murder Mystery, tied with 6 Underground. Holy shit, really?
Michael Bay.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer Confidential, that's God,
Really?
what's his name? That's that Deepwater Horizon guy.
No kid. Berg or whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Bird Box. Yeah, Extraction. What the fuck? I'm sure by now it's $1 billion.
Wow.
That wasn't even a good movie.
I highly doubt it's at $1 billion by now.
You don't think so?
That would be 901 more million views, not 1 more million.
But what I want to know is, are they counting everyone that just hits play, or if they're just counting full playthroughs? Because if it's just hit play, I'm sure I'm like 10 of those.
Yeah.
That's crazy though. I was shocked when I read that was, yo, we got we got this guy who's gonna be on next week. We're gonna be talking Sonny Chiba. Just shoot the shit about how great of an actor he was, and how he is like so ripped in Street Fighter. Like it's shocking. Like because he doesn't like it's like those guys who like look good in like a suit or an outfit, and when they take their clothes off, you're like, what the fuck? I will never have that reaction. I will never give that people that reaction. They'll be like, "Hey, exactly what I expected."
Might say that if I ever get to stand next to you, look down.
Ryan, when we do eventually meet up, I'm gonna wear stilettos.
That makes sense.
Nice.
He's like 6'6". This guy is 6'6", right?
6'5", 6'5.5".
Viva Chiva. Hell yeah. Is he that way all the time? Like even off air, like just super happy, super positive.
Oh yeah.
I feel like I need someone like that to like wake me up every day. Just
Yeah.
like what's going on, Flip? You got a fucking great day
tried
ahead of
this
you.
morning.
Yeah.
What?
I tried with you this morning.
You were like, I was like, I should go get some sleep, and you're like,
It
yeah,
was
I think you should.
6 a.m. and I was just starting work, and I was trying to explain Tale of Two Sisters.
6 a.m. Wow. I would need my coffee first.
He hadn't gone to bed yet, and I'd only
hadn't
been
gone
up for 25 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably need to lay off the monster is also the other thing too. I mean,
True.
He says it's all a lie. Could you imagine if he's secretly he's actually like British and he's just like this is all an accent and a facade.
And me and him have an abusive relationship off camera where he abuses me verbally.
Like, Eric, Asian movies suck and you suck.
But I keep coming on because you
have fucking Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Samurai guy.
Now I'm only going to picture him as a sad British asshole.
Oh man, that's good. See, this is why I like doing long streams. We start to get a little slap happy, and we start to just laugh about everything. But we should probably wrap it up in the next 20-ish minutes. We're going on almost 3 fucking hours. That's insane.
It's a good time.
I was saying earlier, I did one for 5 hours, baby.
Hey, we should try to we should try to do a 24-hour stream.
Oh, thank you. I'm just going to shoot you down that quickly.
Oh man! One time we did, I think we did like an 8-hour stream. We were talking about anime and manga one night, and I ended up like playing Call of Duty in like another tab, and I wasn't like really paying attention. Do it. See, he says do it. I feel like next week's gonna be a long stream. I feel like next week's gonna be. I'm gonna be bringing all the monsters with me, all the monster cans.
Wow.
I have like, you guys know how like people in college will drink alcohol and like put the beer like the bottle. That's like what my room looks like with monster cans right now. I'm like trying to build like a big sword or something out of it. Zero was there for that stream. Yeah, that's crazy. It was a good time. It was fun. And now I just like movies. I hate manga and anime. Just kidding.
I got the Parasite manga sitting over there. I'm gonna read.
Good. It's so good. So do you read comics too?
I've been reading more. I've accumulated a bunch of Junji Ito stuff. So I got through Tomie Uzumaki and a few other ones. And I got Parasite lined up and a few others. So I'm accumulating. Oh, Death Note too. I've read all of Death Note.
I'd recommend Blade of the Immortal. It's my favorite comic. It's my favorite story ever in anything.
Okay.
It's just from start to finish. I think Dark Horse is doing those deluxe 3-in-1s.
Okay.
They're super good. It's such a great, and the movie glosses over.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Because it's 31 volumes of a manga.
Yeah.
They can't tell everything in 2 hours or 2.5. But there's so many characters in this manga that are they're just phenomenal. And like every character gets a backstory. And then the final battle, I don't know what happened. I forgot what happens in the Blade of the Immortal movie. What's the end?
Yeah, it was more like a series of kind of fights.
Yeah. The end of the manga, Natsu, the main villain.
Okay.
He fights the head of the shogun's execution.
Okay.
They have a showdown, and one of them is blinded in the fight. So he's listening to Anatsu's footsteps as he's running towards him, and he's timing his strikes, but Anatsu jukes him. And it's so fucking good. It's amazing, and the best art I've ever seen in a manga. Flip, before you are the Vagabond manga worth getting, even though it's a 3-pack. Vagabond manga is great. It's not finished though. That tells Miyamoto Musashi. I would say the anime tells the manga in an almost complete story. They leave out some fights and some key events. And it's animated questionably, but it does a decent job. The new one, the 2000 and 18 one, I think, or 19 one, before the pandemic.
Hmm.
It's good. Oh, there's another scene in the manga where the main bad guys storm Edo Castle, like the big castle in the Edo period where all the samurai lived, and they kill everybody but like 3. It's just 4 guys go in and slaughter all these samurai, and it's like an entire volume of just action. It's so good. Yeah, comics are good. I have a bunch on the floor. I have a bunch of Gears of War comics. Just like Gears of War a lot, and Black Butler. I have Black Butler on the floor right now for some reason. Ryan, are you a comic guy?
I used to be. I was a big DC comic guy. Also, I was one of those odd ones. I was in Walking Dead from literally Jump Street and stayed with it for a very long time, and then life just got in the way. I still got most of those. A few others I've read. Gosh, can't even remember offhand, but I really loved like the offshoots of the DC stuff, like the new Swamp Thing versions that they did. They're so just gnarly and really well animated.
Eric, do you watch? Have you always been into comics, or is that new?
No, never. No, it's a new thing. I started reading manga because I'm like, man, I really should read some of the source material for all these movies I'm watching.
It's just so time consuming, and it's even more expensive than collecting movies. Because to get like a full series, it's like 20 plus volumes, and it's like $20 a pop, but stuff goes out of print really, really fast.
Yeah.
Like I think I had all of Gantz, and I sold that for like $1,300, which was nice. And then I turned around and spent it all on movies. What's the most you guys have purchased something? Like, what's the biggest purchase, Ryan?
God, it might be this to complete the collection, because I had the other 2 big box sets from Everything Blue, and this is only limited to 500 in the entire world. And this was going for this goes for like $650 now, and it had been averaging like 500, and I found somebody that was selling it for like 250 to 3-ish. I don't remember exactly what the total was. And then another one of the big ones is the Arrow DVD set of the Russ Meyer collection from 2011. That thing went out of print, and that's a big grail for a lot of people if they're collecting Arrow. And it's so old now. It's a decade old, and most people that are into Arrow, they're like, oh, I love their old stuff like Reanimator. It's like, well, they were putting stuff out for years before stuff like that. So
how about you, Eric? What's the most you spent on one item? Like a big.
Well, I'll do a movie and box set. The movie, it's a Japanese horror film, Roku Roku, Promise of the Witch, because it never got a release yet. It's from 2017, so I got it on Amazon Japan. It wasn't even on the typical sites. I had to get it, and for a DVD, I paid over $100. And then in terms of sets, it's right there. Halloween. I bought that late. Used a bunch of gift certificates, Amazon gift certificates, but even after the gift certificates, I had to pay like, I don't know, maybe like $150, $200, but that's 10 movies.
Yeah.
I think mine is probably recently the Shawscope set. The one that comes to mind. The Battles Without Honor and Humanity set.
The Zhang Yimou set wasn't cheap either, yeah.
Yeah, that's a how much was that?
I think it was $150 after version.
That's not. I thought it was more than that.
Well, when you're on their site, I think it shows 200.
Yeah,
and it's in Australian.
Right. Yeah, that's like 8 movies. A few of them are great though. Some great movies.
A couple of them are first time on disc, or am I wrong there?
On Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh man, Raise the Red Lantern on Blu-ray. I can't freaking wait. Yeah. That movie's great.
Are you gonna be doing like a big overview? Like you're gonna like break down each movie, review them?
I already did a few of the reviews. I have a Zhang Yimou top 10 list. I got to get back to my top 10 list next year. But yeah, I'll probably review it. But I'm gonna wait a month because I got to do a lot of horror stuff next month. So I'd probably do it in November.
I think October, I'm not going to watch any horror movies. I'm going to do something completely opposite.
So it's a normal month for you.
Normal month for me, man. I'm going to watch nothing but samurai movies for the whole month. All Sleepy Eyes of Death. That's 12 right there. Well, 14 technically, but we don't have the other two. Maybe Lone Wolf and Cub again. I heard that's pretty good. You guys are laughing. My wife makes fun of me because I watch the same shit over and over again. Just great.
Hey, I've seen Big Trouble in Little China like freaking 200 times, so I don't blame it.
Is that a good movie?
Are you joking?
He just asked me about this release.
Yeah, because I was like, I'm gonna pick it up because I don't own it, and I wanted to get it, and I asked if that was a good release, and he said it was phenomenal. Surprised that they still have that available. I thought it was a limited edition.
It is, but they I believe they printed more for the Carpenter Steels after. I think The Thing and They Live are the only ones that got like very limited releases.
I really hope people don't find out about Orbit. They're
Well,
so good.
they have blown up over the last 6 months. Before then, there was like out of print stuff in stock on their site for weeks at a time.
Ricky O dropped today, and it was sold out within like a couple hours.
And it's the second drop they've had of it.
Oh, really? It's the second one?
Ricky O, baby, the inspiration for Shawshank Redemption.
I would love if that was true. If that was true, I would love that. That would be amazing. Like, this went out of stock, and I thought I had missed out because I don't know how much 88 prints of these,
Right.
And they emailed me that it was back in stock, and I was like, fuck yes. Hey, do you watch any Eurocrime, Eric?
I gotta watch more, man. But money situations. But I watched Live Like a Cop, Die Like a Man. Oh, baby, that's a good one.
That is a good movie. I'm thinking about doing a guide to Eurocrime here soon. I did the samurai movies. Think I'm going to do that next.
Yeah, I need a list of like essential titles to start with because I've seen so many giallo and Italian horror. I may as well get into the Eurocrime stuff.
Yep. Yeah, I think my next couple of videos are going to be Eurocrime, Kung Fu, lesser known Kung Fu movies, no Shaw Brothers or Golden Harvest stuff, and then probably a guide to Django. Just talk about every movie that I own that was like even Massacre Time was a Django movie, Ryan. Like it was like a Django movie in freaking Germany. So, well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. We're about to hit 3 hours. This was a lot of fun. Eric, thank you for coming on. You're more than welcome to come on anytime.
Thanks for having me.
And everyone go subscribe to Ryan and Eric. Both their names are their banner right there.
Mm-hmm.
And go buy some of Ryan's merch. He's got some shirts. The Disconnected. And eventually this will be going up on iTunes. Not this episode, but eventually we will be putting the stuff up on Google, iTunes, Spotify. I found out that Anchor will do all that for you. So it used to be a pain in the ass to get stuff up there. Hit that like button. Thank you, that Fat Samurai guy. So he's going to be on next week, possibly Eric as well. We're going to be talking about Sonny Chiba, and it should be another 3-hour episode. It should be fun. But anyways, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Yes.